What up? What up? I'll give it a few minutes to wait and let people hop on if they want and make sure that everything is working good. What up, Insane Big King? Can you hear me okay? Just want to make sure everything's looking and sounding good before I get going here. Things have changed on YouTube. Since the last time I streamed, things have changed a little bit. It's all good, though. Got to get back in the swing of things. That's how it works. What up, Evil Ed? Cool. Got 4 people watching. Probably can't get the big CPN numbers, but we'll do what we can. CPN can stream anything, and he'll get like 480 people watching. I want that. I'll never get there unless I start being more consistent with the shit, and I got to start hitting the shit hard, like every week. I think. I mean, I'm not gonna make any grand promises here now, but I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of being passed by people, a lot of people that started after I did. They're kicking my ass now because they're just working so much harder at the shit, and I've never been good at that. I've always been bad about doing the bare minimum in my life. That is true. That is a true shitty stupid thing about me. Like, I'm good at going to work every day. I was good enough at going to school to get a degree. I am good enough to pay my bills and get my laundry done from time to time. But when it comes to things like this that no one's making me do, I just suck. Like, if no one's making me stream every day, then I just can't summon the motivation, it seems. But I've had it because I'm done. I'm done with that shit. My life is incredibly empty and stupid. I hope that doesn't sound too dark for you, but I mean it in an optimistic way. My life is so pointless that I need to create meaning in my life, or else I'm just going to die as an elderly old man having not achieved jack shit. I know that's sounding pretty grim, but I think you can take something inspiring from it as I stare at my gigantic Fearless Fred Fury flag hanging on the wall that I got from the Fury Tour meet and greet. I wonder if I can point the camera around and show you. Well, maybe I shouldn't because my apartment's all filthy and shitty. Another reason that I fucking suck. But I'm it stops now. I'm tired of that shit. I can't do it anymore. I can't go through life like a fucking dumbass forever. So what now? Either put some effort into something for once in my life or just what? Give up? I don't even know what's going on in the Juggalo world right now. I've been out of it for about a month. Ever since the gathering ended, I had an awesome time at the gathering. It rocked. And then I came back and did about fucking 3 or 4 hours on my podcast about the gathering, recapping that shit and all the awesome times that I had there and the awesome people that I hung out with. And after that, I just kind of felt fatigued. I kind of hit this space of like being tired of living my life online, which is, I don't know, maybe I need to either get used to that or just figure out a way to make it work, because y'all know, if you follow me on Twitter, I was on that shit all the time. I was on Twitter constantly every waking hour of the day, which for me is most of the hours of the day, because I have sleeping problems anyway. So if you saw me on Twitter just tweeting all the fucking time, then you might have noticed a dip a few weeks after the gathering when I don't know, I felt like I needed some things just for me. Like I would look at I would look at the Juggalo news going on in the world or whatever, hip hop news and whatnot. And it was nice to just like have some thoughts just for me without feeling compelled to puke out everything that entered my mind, which would also get me into trouble from time to time. Sometimes I would say shit too quickly without having all the facts and end up saying something dumb. I'm no stranger to that, and I have no problem deleting a tweet if I say something that turns out to be dumb. I know there's a lot of made up Twitter rules out there. People have these invented these internet ethics of like, don't delete tweets, don't fucking subtweet, don't do this and that. And I say, who gives a shit, because it's all just made up fantasy internet bullcrap anyway. So anyway, that was kind of where I was at after the gathering. Like, I kind of needed some time to just like decompress and get back in touch with my humanity outside of the internet. So that's all going well and good. A few weeks go by after that, and a old dear friend of mine met his untimely death. That happened about 2 weeks ago, a little over 2 weeks ago. That happened on September 7th. And if you're following me on Twitter, then you probably saw me pop back up just to talk about that after that happened, because I was not dealing with it very well. I'd been reaching out to friends and family, which I never do. I never reach out to people for shit. Not like that. Not for like emotional support and shit, but it was all I had. So, as part of that, I figured since this guy was a juggalo like myself, of course, we came into that shit fucking together 20 years ago. Felt like an appropriate thing to reach out to the juggalo community and get support from y'all, and that was really helpful. I had a lot of helpful input from juggalos, people I've never even met, juggalos I've never even met, getting into my DMs and being supportive and shit. So that was really helpful, but it didn't help my burnout, as you can imagine. I just regressed, wallowing into self-loathing. I mean, without getting too much into this guy's personal business, my friend, we had grown up together since the 3rd grade. And we spent every damn day together for what, 10 years? What day? What, let's see, 3rd grade, that's like fucking 8 years old or some shit. All the way up through graduating high school, like 18 years old, every damn day together, every day, every school day, every weekend, before school, during school, after school, changing classes just to hang out and shit, that type of thing. And then when we were 14, we both got into ICP at the exact same time. Like, we both had mutual friends, but I would have to ask him, which I can't now, but I think it was his certain mutual friends of his that got him into it, and certain mutual friends that got me into it. But we both came into it at the same time. We were getting into Juggalo shit together, going to all of my first concerts with this guy. My first Juggalo concert ever, a Twisted's Mirror tour, and my first ICP tour, which was Shangri-La, and fucking hitting Blaze shows, hitting Esham shows, hitting ABK shows, hitting Dark Lotus shows, hitting Tech 9 shows, hitting Cottonmouth King shows. Getting into all that shit together. And over the years, after we graduated high school and I moved to go to college, we started kind of losing touch because of personal things. And this is where I don't really want to get into his business too much. But after a few years of falling in and out of touch while I was at college, he eventually moved to be near me, to get away from the shit in our hometown that he was falling into, bad shit. He wanted to kind of get his life together that way. So he just had to remove himself from the people he knew and stuff altogether. And me being comparatively one of the more straight laced people that he knew, even though, we were, of course, getting drunk and smoking weed and shit all the time. But comparatively, I stayed out of trouble. And so he came to move near me. And that was going well for a few years. And then he eventually moved back to our hometown. And after that, it was just kind of hit and miss. Like, some days I would talk to him and it would be cool. Some days I would talk to him and I felt like I didn't even recognize the same guy anymore. And after so many years of that, I was just like, fuck this. And I just washed my hands completely. And he would still reach out to me. And I usually just ignored him. So anyway, I didn't plan on talking about that too much. I'm going to get out of that subject. But point is, I hadn't talked to this guy in a few years, and he died a few weeks ago, which has been kind of a weird, fucked up thing. Of course, obviously, his family is suffering the most, but of course, it makes me reflect on my own, both my own mortality and also the emptiness that is my life. Now, I know that sounds dark, but it doesn't have to be, because there's a fork in the road if you find yourself in that position, as I feel like I have. One of them is obviously to just kill yourself. The other direction is create some kind of meaning in your life. Because right now, I feel like I'm only living for other people. There's not really anything in my own life that I care to go on for. It's only for the sake of other people and not wanting to put them through that kind of shit. So the question is, how do I get through the next 50 years of life without feeling like a miserable piece of shit? I know this is getting incredibly dark, but I really feel like this could be helpful if anyone's staying with me on this. And the answer is to create some kind of meaning in my life. And I'm not good at anything. I don't have any skills. The only thing that I can do is this, what you're watching right now. The only thing I can do is think and talk and have no shame about being on camera and having no embarrassment about what people think. That's a skill set that I have that not everybody has. And so if I want to try to do something with my currently meaningless life, then that's kind of the only well that I have to go to. So I've kind of just remained dark on the internet over the last month, really. More than that, perhaps. After the gathering, kind of stayed under the radar, first by choice and then by just being unable to, just mentally unable to do it. And while I was remaining dark, I was still like looking from time to time. I would check in and see what what was going on in the Juggalo world, but I wasn't like super plugged in the way that I am when I'm really ramped up into it, you know? So I was like grieving for this friend of mine. And here I see all this dumb fucking shit on Twitter about like Shaggy Two Dope on the underground hustling cipher that was on Twisted's YouTube page, and people are fucking diving into conspiracies and shit. I honestly don't even know. I don't care, and I never ever will care. If I was feeling good about my life at that time, maybe I would have cared more. But in that moment, seeing that shit, I was just like, I can't believe this is the crap that people are arguing about right now. And I know if and when something happens to Madrox, Monoxide, Jay, or Shaggy, they will all be feeling the crippling regret that I feel for having left their friendship in this stupid place. It doesn't have to be like that. And I don't want to see that shit happen to them. So every time I see people arguing about this dumb fucking shit, you're just wasting time. And I'll get out of this dumb fucking stupid ass mood soon, but it's just like it had to come out. I see some more people in the chat here. What up, Spooky? Definitely a good close Juggalo friend of mine. Sam, of course, a good close non-Juggalo friend of mine, but still here being supportive and hearing me talk about dumb shit. Anyway, Dr. Shocker, what up to him, supporter, and Mary Jane Monarch. So, yeah, that's kind of the only reason I really got into all that shit is because people were starting to wonder if I was all right. Like, for someone that tweeted as often as I do and put out content as often as I did, after I went dark, people were starting to wonder if I was all right. And at first, it was kind of like a fun mystery because I was doing it by choice. I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna let people wonder what's going on with me. And then that other bullshit happened with my friend, and then it was like, okay, well, fuck, now it's not fun anymore. Now people are starting to wonder, and they probably would like to know if I legit am okay or not. So nothing I can do but dust off and try to get back on the horse here. I couldn't do a real episode because I don't know what's going on in the world. I don't know what's going on in the Juggalo world, so there isn't really anything for me to talk about. I've seen a few kind of interesting hip hop things circulating around that seemed interesting, but I don't fucking know what's going on. So this is just purely to talk bullshit. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just streaming to talk bullshit. And that's what this is. Like Tales from the Lotus podcast, how they'd get on and just talk bullshit. That's fun. Sometimes it's fun to just talk bullshit. So I don't know. Maybe I don't always need to have some kind of strong opinion about shit every time I get on here. Maybe I could just get on and connect with people and see what's going on. I wanted to do Google Hangouts. I don't know if you know this, but apparently Google Hangouts is no longer a thing. That was disappointing. I was going to send the link out to people and get a little group shit happening, but apparently now I need to totally rethink the whole way I do podcasting because Google Hangouts no longer exists, or at least streaming with Google Hangouts doesn't exist. So I don't know. I know that the Tales from the Lotus podcast dudes use something. I'll probably get in touch with one of them and ask them how that works. But yeah, the important thing is I just need to keep like producing output. If I don't have anything to talk about one week, I need to bring on someone and see what they have to say. Stuff, that kind of shit. And I'm going to expand into new shows, non-Juggalo related. I have other things on my mind that have nothing to do with Juggalo shit. You might find that hard to believe, but it's true. I will start putting more shit out there and try to fucking do something with this horribly meaningless, pointless life that I currently have and try to turn it into something not as meaningless. I have 7 people watching now. That is fucking awesome. The fact that 7 people would ever give a fuck about what I have to say about anything is something that did not exist before the internet. So, I mean, it's great and all, and I appreciate all 7 people and everyone that's talking in the chat. But it's not enough. I need more people. I need those CPN numbers. I need 480 people watching me pissing in your building, fam. Maybe not that. I do my own shit. I don't do his shit, but I do want his numbers. If I can get his numbers without doing his shit, then that would be ideal. But fuck it, man. Too much time playing dumb shit video games from fucking 20 years ago, unless I'm streaming them, in which case that's producing content and that's totally different. But if I'm just sitting on my ass playing fucking Nintendo for the 10,000th time, I'm wasting life. I'm 34 years old, which is like not old, but too old to keep wasting time. It's kind of the cutoff. Hey, thanks, Mr. Ryan. He says it looks like I lost a ton of weight. You're damn right I did. I most definitely did. Even my shirt is fucking huge right now. All of my shirts are huge right now because I lost so much weight. I appreciate you noticing that. The journey continues. I like 2 years ago, I was like 245 pounds. It's like this. There was a point in time where I was like, I'm going to start getting healthy. And I did. And I got down to 180 pounds from whatever my weight was at that time. Probably like 200 or some shit, whatever it was. And I lost a lot of weight. I lost like 20 pounds by exercising and eating better and shit. This was like 2015. And after I lost all that weight, I was like, okay, well, now I've lost the weight. Who gives a fuck? I didn't feel any different. I was like, oh, okay, now I'm just I'm still the same dumbass, only now I'm a little bit slimmer. Who cares? That was my thinking at the time after I lost the weight. So at that point, I was like, well, fuck it. Now I'm just going to do whatever I want. I was like, well, I got skinny. That didn't feel any better. I might as well just do whatever I want for the next 2 years or whatever. There was no time limit on it, but it was like, I might as well just do whatever I want. And I pretty much spent like the next 2 years eating like a fucking monster, getting fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and second dinner and third dinner every day for years, just eating thousands and thousands of calories and having a great time doing it, seeing myself getting fatter and knowing that I was doing it and not giving a shit because it was like, it's not so bad when you know that you're doing it. It can be, it's one thing if you're like waking up one day and you realize that you've gained a lot of weight or something, but if you know when you're doing it that you're doing it, then you can at least enjoy it. So that went on for several years until I hit about 245. I'd actually gained fucking 65 pounds in like 2 years just by living like a piece of shit. And once I hit about 245, I kept having to buy bigger clothes and shit. That's always a sobering moment when you're having to buy bigger fucking shirts and pants. So, I mean, but still, though, again, it was like, even as I was doing it, I was like, fuck it. And then once I hit about 245, I was like, I've pushed this as far as I can go. It was a fun ride, but I've pushed this as far as I can go. So then I got back into like losing weight and shit, eating better, moderation. I've kind of had my ups and downs with it, but for like I said, it was about from 2015 to about 2017 that I was gaining the shit. And then it was from about 2017 to now that I've been losing the shit. And now I'm down to like 195. So getting back down closer to that 180 that I was in my peak fitness. But yeah, it's really not that hard. People always act, it's the media especially, it's like they want you to believe that losing the weight and shit is hard as fuck. Why? Two reasons. One, so they can sell you weight loss shit. And then the other, there's two directions. One, it's like, here's some weight loss shit. Make sure you buy these yoga DVDs or you're never going to lose the weight, which you don't need to fucking do, of course. But people do it. And so, boom, money. The other side of the coin is just to make people feel so hopelessly insecure that you can manipulate them into doing whatever you want, whether that means selling them double quarter pounders or selling them anything that you can convince them will make them happy. One way that you do that is by convincing them that there's nothing you can do to improve your life if you're fat. So anyway, that's it seems like a bit of a digression, but it actually kind of ties together because something that was really inspiring me that helped me lose the weight, a good way of thinking about it was something that Shaggy Two Dope had said about quitting cigarettes, where he said that he was saying to his wife that he was going to try to quit smoking, or he told his wife that he was trying to quit smoking. He was talking about this. This was on the Juggalo show. This was years ago, and he said that he was like stressing out and he was like snapping at his wife or whatever, or just being a general dickhead. And then he was like, "I'm sorry, I'm just stressing out because I'm trying to quit smoking." And she was like, "No, you're not trying to quit smoking. You quit smoking." And he was like, he said for him that was like a light went off. And him telling that story to me, I guess really I owe it more to his wife than I do to him, I guess. But him talking about that on the Juggalo show was like, that's a really good way to look at things. Like, if you tell yourself that you're trying to do anything, you're just opening the door to fail at that thing. So don't try, in my case, losing weight, whatever. Don't try, just do it. So, I mean, it works. Gets you in a good headspace. Of course, sometimes I'll slip up and shit and get back into eating fast food for fucking 9 weeks straight. But yeah, that's another thing about it too. I when I was at that 245, the fattest I've ever been in my life, I dropped down to, what was it? Probably like 210, I think. Working at it over several months, year, whatever. Dropped down to 2 months, and then, sorry, over the course of several months, dropped down to like 210 or whatever. And then I was just like, fuck it, I've earned it. That's another big fucking thing I have a problem with. I've earned it. This whole I've earned it mentality. Hey, I fucking go to work every day. I've earned a 9-hour video game session. I've earned it. I lost 35 pounds. I've earned it. You don't fucking earn shit. that's how you get right back to where you were. So I had gone down to 210, and then I just kept eating bullshit again. Got back up to about 225, and then it was like, all right, I gotta cancel this before this gets me right back to where I was. And then I started focusing on the weight loss and shit again. Especially right before the gathering, I did a real crunch about 2 or 3 months before the gathering. That was when my next big like push came. Like, I was 225. I was at that 225 I was just speaking of. We were about 3 months away from the gathering, and I wanted to really drop like 20 pounds before the gathering, just because being there is so physically exhausting. Having been to the gathering before, that was my 6th gathering this year. Having been to the gathering 5 times before, I know how physically demanding it can be. So I was preparing like, okay, I don't want to have to fucking carry 20 extra pounds with me everywhere that I go. It's hard enough carrying your fucking, drinking this fucking V8 energy bullshit. You can make me burp. Yeah, so it's just like anything I could do to make my gathering a little easier. And I started, really focusing on it hard. And when I have the determination, I can achieve anything. I don't think I've ever had a problem achieving something that I legit was trying to do, which is why I'm such a dumbass that I can't use that same focus towards all things. Like I have to have a concrete motivation in front of me. For instance, lose 20 pounds before the gathering for this reason. Fine, no problem. It's done. But when it's like, hey, you need to do this and this and this for some kind of indeterminate, ambiguous reward that may or may not ever come 10, 15 years in the future, then I'm just like, fuck it. I had a tweet once that was like, I know that my problem in life, my problems with achieving success in life are purely motivational and not it's not my ability. It was articulate in the tweet. This is why fucking tweeting is a better medium for me. It was something like, I know that my problems with achieving success are all motivation and not ability, because if Nicki Minaj came to me one day and said, you can fuck me for $10 million, I know I would have no trouble getting that $10 million. If the motivation is right, I could do it. So I ask myself, why can I not just get that $10 million on my own and do it for myself? Why can I not do it for myself? Why can I only do it to fuck Nicki Minaj? It's not ability. I need the motivation. And I lack the motivation because I don't know what comes next after the $10 million, because it's not Nicki Minaj. Once I get $10 million, then what? I don't know. What? Nothing? I have the same stupid life, only now I'm rich. It's tough for me to, get myself in the right mindset without a tangible, physical, in that case, sexual goal. So if there's any women out there that really want to motivate me, shit, make an offer and put a dollar amount on it, and we'll see what we can get. So anyway, thanks, Mr. Ryan, for bringing that up. Like I said, this is just a real shooting the shit thing. Shooting the shit. It doesn't have to be Juggalo shit all the time, does it? Or does it? I don't know. Not today, it doesn't. Not today. I don't know if this will be a regular segment or not, but for now, it's just fucking bullshit. Man of the people style. I don't even have the Murder Mayhem gear on. I've got the supervillains, so I didn't want to look completely scrubbalo, but I've even got the fucking comfy pants on and everything. What else are people talking about in the chat here? Scottish Misfit in the house. What up to him? Always a pleasure. Yeah, I need to get back on Tales from the Lotus podcast. I need to get back on everything, man. You know how long I've been fucking making I've been in talks with Chuck Reeves about getting him on my show? Fucking forever. And your opinions of Chuck Reeves notwithstanding, he's always been very supportive of me, and he has offered to come and do my show, knowing that it will help me more than it will help him. He had me on his show. Even back, I'm still a nobody. Even back at that time, I was even more of a nobody. And Chuck Reeves has like fucking, 5,000 subscribers on his channel or some shit. So his opinions on shit notwithstanding, the point I'm making here is I've had potential guests lined up for months, a year, I don't know. And I just have such a hard time pulling the trigger on shit. I'm sick of living this way. I need to just force myself to do shit I don't want to do until it becomes habit. I'm really good with momentum. Once I get on momentum of something, it's kind of tough to derail it. Only my momentum is always on dumb fucking shit like beating more video games. Shit, when I get on a fucking when I get on the track of playing video games every day, I'll fucking blast through a video game a week. And it's like, okay, this is fun and all, but what do I have to show for it? Not much. The only thing I have to show for that is a wide knowledge of video games, which then it becomes a thing of like, okay, how do I turn that into something useful, which would be a Twitch channel, a podcast about video games, that kind of thing. I need to retrain my mind into the mode of like, how do I translate the stupid shit I do in my life into good shit? Turn the bad shit into something productive. And it's something I struggle with every day. I think about it all the time. What's going on in the chat here? Let's see. Spooky says fat people usually have a shortcut mentality, exercise and do things the harder way, and those pounds will melt away. True, I agree with that, but I compound that with my other theory, which is that it's just not that hard. I mean, you call it the harder way, I'll agree with that. It is harder, but it's still not that fucking hard. I'll tell you the secret. You want to know the secret to losing weight? I'll tell you. It's really easy. And people don't want to hear this advice, though. Eat salad every day. That's what you have to do. Replace one of your meals, lunch, with salad. That's all you got to do. I wake up, I drink one of these V8 energy drinks that, yes, have sugar and bad shit in them. I mean, I'm not fucking living clean, vegan, organic bullshit style. Yes, a V8 energy drink is probably not the healthiest way to get your vitamins. But that's why I say it's not that fucking hard. You can cut some corners and still do it. I wake up, I drink this. If you need caffeine, it's certainly going to be better than the fucking 200 calories in Coke or whatever. Has the same amount of caffeine as a cup of coffee. More even. I think it's got about 80 milligrams, which is, by the way, the same amount of caffeine that's in fucking Monster Energy drink and Red Bull and all those fucking marketing bullshit. They want you to believe that, like, oh, Monster's going to fucking fuel you for the day. Would you rather be drinking something that was made in a test tube or something that at least has some kind of semblance of vitamins? I mean, I've never really looked at the label that close, but I mean, you got vitamin C, you got riboflavin, you got vitamin B. I don't know what the fuck any of those things do, so I'm just talking shit. But all this to say, I wake up, I slam one of these just to at least get me started for the day, and then make a big ass salad for lunch. And I'm you can load it up with good shit. Put some turkey in there or chicken or whatever you like. Put a meat in there. Put some cheese in there. And then just fill the shit up with lettuce, tomatoes. I use mushrooms as well. Fortunately, I'm a man of not very discerning tastes flavor-wise, so I'm pretty much good to eat anything, whatever. Fill the shit up with all the vegetables you want. I promise you can eat a shitload of it and it won't be that it won't ruin your calorie intake for the day. I hope people are finding this interesting because this is so like off of the path of what we usually talk about on the show. Mary J. Monarch, almonds for protein. Great call. That's another thing I put in my salads. A handful of fucking mixed nuts. It's so easy. They've mixed the nuts for you, people. Just go to Walmart and buy all this shit, throw it together in a Tupperware, bring that to work for lunch. A hard boiled egg, you can buy those pre-hard boiled. That's how lazy I am. I'm good at finding the shortcuts. Even like Spooky said, there are no shortcuts, and in the grand sense of the term, he is exactly right. But on a micro scale, it's like, man, I don't want to fucking boil eggs. Yes, I'm that lazy. I don't want to fucking boil eggs. Oh, I can just buy them pre-boiled in a bag for like not that much more of the cost of regular eggs. Usually I take the path of paying more money for less work. So it's like, I consider this a boiling tax. Yeah, I'm probably paying an extra 89 cents or whatever, but fuck it. It's worth the 10 minutes I save on not boiling the eggs. This is all just my own personal stupidness. If you are fine with spending 10 minutes boiling eggs, even better. The point is, there's enough workarounds to make the shit not that difficult. I put a bunch of Frank's Red Hot in there as well. That jazzes the shit up. Don't use dressing. Don't use croutons. You'll be fine. If you can get that down for lunch every day, and when it's all said and done, you're probably looking at a good between 400 and 600 calories. I mean, it's not like nothing. You have to be aware that you are taking in calories, but things like cheese and meat and nuts, especially, and a fucking hard boiled egg, that stuff can add up. So eat that for lunch. But not only is it like less calories than the fucking double quarter pounder, but it will fill you up way more than a double quarter pounder. Plus, it's got enough nutrients that will make your body a more efficient fat burning machine. So eat salad for lunch every day. Eat a normal dinner. Count your calories. I'm not doing so good with counting calories lately, but I eat the same things every day. So I kind of ballpark it. And you'll be fine. There's good foods out there. You don't need to fucking go all or nothing. Half-ass it. That's my motto. Just half-ass it. You'll be fine. Half-ass it, and you'll be better than no-assing it. I mean, that was something that took me years to learn. This, like, break myself out of this all or nothing approach to everything I do, which always meant nothing. When it comes to all or nothing, I'm going to take nothing 100% of the time. So now my thing is like, just half-ass it, and at least you're getting something done. Some, like, that phrase that's like, anything worth doing is worth doing well. I heard someone say anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. They turned it on its head. I don't remember who said that now, but they were making that point. They were making that very point. It's like, if something's worth doing, it's better to just at least do it somewhat than just not do it at all. So that's what's been working for me anyway. Part of the reason that I want to be successful is so that I can tell other people how to be successful at things. And I can't really tell them how to be successful in life yet because I'm not there yet. But here we have a living example of a man that has lost 65 pounds over 2 years. So I must know at least a little bit of what I'm talking about. But I had an easy time at the gathering. I saw people in much, much worse shape than me struggling to get up that hill every day. Fuck that hill, of course. But even people that appeared to be in much better shape than me were struggling to get up that hill. And I felt fine. So I don't know. I must be doing something right. Still not where I want to be exactly. I still have more weight to lose, things like that. But nobody's going to call me fat anymore. Trolls called me fat back in the day. Never fucking bothered me. I don't give a shit about that. It's a thing that is easily controlled. I don't care. I'd be much more offended if somebody called me stupid or something. But even that would not bother me unless it was someone whose opinion I really cared about. Another reason I stay off Twitter is just like, all the dumb trolling and shit back and forth. It's like, I don't give a fuck about any of this stuff. What up, Roxy Riddlebox? Let's see what's going on in the chat. I'm going to be streaming for a long time. I mean, we're at 45 minutes in. I'm going to fucking do this shit CPN style and go for 4.5 hours. Yeah, Roxy, missed you at the gathering as well. I'm still seeing pictures of people online gathering photos where I'm like, oh shit, that person was there. Oh shit, that person was there. I felt like I got to meet a whole bunch of people, but there's still a bunch of people that slipped through my cracks. Fortunately, I will be attending my very first Hollow Wicked. Oh yeah, that is true. That is going down. Plane tickets are already bought and paid for, so I can't go back on that one. Will be attending my first Hollow Wicked this year, and I've been a Juggalo for 20 fucking years, bro. 20 years. I've been to dozens of concerts. I've been to fucking everything. Never went to a Hollow Wicked in my life, so definitely crossing that one off the bucket list this year. And I bought the tickets and shit before I even saw it was announced. I see now that I guess Green Jello and Ouija Mac and Big Hoodoo are going to be there, so that's cool. And Isham as well. And there's also a Supervillains pre-party on Devil's Night, so that'll be the shit. I was kind of planning on going to Attack of the Ninjas, and then fucking, I mean, people that know me know that I still have love for Twisted, so I was planning on going to Attack of the Ninjas, but this will give you a more accurate picture of where I'm at. After they announced the Supervillains free party, I was like, well, fuck Attack of the Ninjas. I'd rather go to this shit instead. So as much as I love Twisted, I'm sorry, it's gonna have to go with the Supervillains on that one. But yeah, that'll be exciting for sure. And now there is an after party announced as well featuring Light and DJ Clay. So that'll be cool. I wanted to get into Spooky's comment here. He said, you forced yourself to lose weight. You can force yourself to do anything. This world is yours. I suggest a marvelous missing link found to listen through. I wholeheartedly agree with this statement. And found, I always say, is the second weakest of all the ICP CDs. Second only to the missing link Lost. So as much as I find found to be a mediocre album musically, I do think the message in the music is powerful enough that it warrants a close examination. You bet your ass when each of those albums came out, and every ICP album, I fucking listen to the shit up and down over and over and over again, over and over and over again, all the time, constantly, until I really feel like I have a mastery of what they're trying to tell me. And it always works. I listen to some cuts from Found pretty often. There's a handful that are in my regular rotation. The title track for sure, Found, I would venture to say may even be the best or my personal favorite song of this entire second deck, which is helly ironic given that it's on what I consider the second weakest ICP album of all time. It does contain quite possibly my favorite ICP track of the last, for fuck's sakes, 10 years. Wow, 10 years. We've been in the second deck era for 10 years now. Figure that shit out. I still remember the feeling of wondering what the sixth Joker's card was going to be. I kind of wonder about today's Juggalos, and I'm not at all one of these fuck the new school fam kids shit. I'm not into that. I say bring on the new Juggalos. I love the new Juggalos. We need them. I want to see this shit go on forever, and it's not going to happen without new Juggalos. But I personally don't understand what they see in it, in the new shit. Like, and not because it's not good, but because a huge part of the allure of it all back in the day was, what's that sixth Joker's card going to be? And without that factor, it's like, okay, we still have some bomb ass music and all, but you're missing one of the coolest things about ICP that can never, will never, ever be replicated. That mystery of what is the sixth Joker's card? What's it going to sound like? What's it going to look like? What's the name? You'll never have that. Any Juggalo after 2002, you'll never have that, and I feel badly for you, but I applaud that you're finding something to latch onto there. And again, I love the new music. I'm not hating on the new shit whatsoever. It's just you'll never be able to replicate that part of it. What else is going on in the chat? I have 4 viewers. Is that right? Why? Why do I suck so much? I appreciate the 4 of you, but come on, spread this link around and shit or something, because I'm gonna be streaming at least for another hour or more. So, I mean, if people could fucking hop on here, I'll talk more Juggalo shit. I know that's what you want. You came here for Juggalo shit. Instead, you heard me talking about how horribly empty and depressing my life is. And salads and shit. Mary Jane Monarch says, I put half grapes, seeds, mandarins, and low-calorie dressing like soy sauce and honey mustard. Soy sauce. I like it. I like where your head is at. KFD starts soon. Mary Jane Monarch says, I'm not sure. My brain is not doing the math on that right now. I've seen the letters KFD, and my first thought is Kung Fu Dampire. Whoever it is, though, I'm sure it's a good show. So, what else is happening? Oh, what's up, Bronco Juggalo? I gotta have all these fucking people on my show. God, I'm such a slacker. Roxy Riddlebox says she wants to do the show. I need to fucking make it happen. For one thing, I need to figure out the new Hangouts system if there's no more Hangouts, but I'll figure it out. Kyle fucking Driver Power Hour, I'm told, is KFD. I'll might have to plead ignorance on that one and admit that I don't know if I've seen the Kyle fucking Driver Power Hour, but I do like his name, so I'm on board. Danny boy, what up? Just been fucking chilling, ready to get back into the shit though. So that's what this is, really, just trying to shake it off. And I work all the fucking time. I don't know where these other people have the energy and shit. Some of these fucking people have wives and kids and shit. Like, if I had a job and a wife and kid, how the fuck am I supposed to come home and podcast every fucking day? For me, it sounds crazy. Some of these other dudes have no problem. I'm not sure who had whatever. I mean, families though. The point is, a lot of these other Juggalo podcasters have families and shit, and it's like, how are you doing this? It's all I can do to get through a fucking work day in my life. Problem is that my life is too easy. So I've become soft. I bet my life is way easier than a lot of the other podcasters, and that's why I've gone soft. Give me a moment while I check text messages and shit on my phone. Okay. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. What's going on in the chat? JR Filthy says I should do music review segment. Oh, right. He's probably referring to something that I hate on Tales from the Lotus podcast, but other people seem to enjoy, so I do it anyway. Where they play me music, underground music that gets sent to them, and I basically shit on it. Not intending to shit on it, but it's just like, if something sucks, it doesn't do anyone any favors to act like it doesn't suck. I put myself in that same boat. If I say something stupid, I need people to tell me so that I'll stop being so stupid. See how that works? So if I tell you that your music sucks, then I'm doing it for you, bro. I'm doing it because I love you. So anyway, I think that's probably what JR is referring to. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind hanging out with the Lotus Podcast boys and fucking around with them a little more. Yeah, well, that's cool. I need to check out the Kyle Power Hour then, because I like what you're telling me there. He's got a guest that just talk bullshit. I mean, I don't know though. I only have 3 viewers right now, so maybe people don't want to hear me just talk bullshit. They want to hear me talk Juggalo shit. What's going on Twitter? Not shit. Pelosi announces formal impeachment inquiry of Trump. Okay, of course. That's every fucking goddamn day. If it's not that, it's something else. This is why I need another podcast to talk about other things, but 3 viewers now, and I appreciate all 3 of you. I feel like there's more than 3 people chatting. How is it telling me there's only 3 people in the chat? But yeah, 3 now, and I guess I'll just set a goal right now and say by the end of the year, hopefully I can get 50 people watching my streams. That's a goal. I just made it up. It's a goal, and that's what I'm going to shoot for. Spooky says, any new movies you want to see? Yeah, I want to see that new Rob Zombie shit with fucking R.I.P. Sid Haig. Rob Zombie, as far as I'm concerned, more misses than hits, but his big hits are House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects. So that's always kind of a thing of like, okay, well, on the one hand, everything you've done since the Devil's Rejects kind of sucks ass. On the other hand, this is part of that series, and that was the best work you ever did. So it's a toss up. You never know if it's going to be, you don't know if it's going to be good or bad. I could extend that exact same logic to the next movie that I really want to see badly, which is Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And as a matter of fact, I'll actually be going down to a live screening of Jay and Silent Bob reboot that Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes are actually touring around the country. That'll be going down just within days of Hollow Wicked. So I'm gonna fly back from Hollow Wicked and then drive out to see that shit. And I love Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is in no small part a major inspiration for me doing what you see me doing right now. Fucking camera shit, audio, video shit. That was like my motivation for getting into video production years ago when I was in college, and I majored in journalism with an emphasis in broadcasting. The reason I got into broadcasting was partially inspired by Kevin Smith to get involved in video production. So there you have that little nugget about me that you may not have known. I am a huge, huge fan of Kevin Smith. And fortunately, I got to meet Jason Mewes when he did a Comic-Con here in town a few years ago, a Comic-Con that I didn't even plan on attending, but I randomly won free passes to a Comic-Con in town I didn't even know I was entered into. It was something that was going on at the place that I worked at the time. So next thing I knew, they told me, hey, you won these Comic-Con passes. I was like, fuck yeah. And then I found out Jason Mewes was going to be there. I was like, shit, that's bucket list shit. Jason Mewes is one of my all-time favorite entertainers, I guess would be the word. Fucking Jay and Silent Bob is almost, I mean, well, maybe not almost, but comparatively, almost as high ranking up there as ICP for me. Now, I mean, there's the part where ICP changed my entire life and all that shit. But it's definitely level one top tier grade art for me. Jay and Silent Bob, anything Kevin Smith is involved in. I mean, you could get into his post Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back career. That's a discussion on its own, but I'm not gonna shit on the man. He's one of my favorite people. He's a role model to me, and not everybody can stay on top forever. And yeah, so that's what I was saying before. It's like, well, on the one hand, Jay and Silent Bob is the greatest thing that he's ever created or been involved with of his entire career. On the other hand, his last like 5 movies are not so good. Like even Clerks 2 is a little sketchy, but Jay and Silent Bob are the best part of that whole movie. They're the best part of every movie that they're in. So I will watch a million Jay and Silent Bob movies as long as he wants to keep making them. But like, I mean, Red State is decent, and then Tusk was almost awesome, but then it got real stupid and weird about halfway through once Johnny Depp came around. Johnny Depp's character. Yoga Hosers is one of the worst comedies I've ever seen, period, Kevin Smith or otherwise. And again, I have all the fucking love in the world for Kevin Smith, but it's like, yeah, man, I can't sit here and say that that's a great movie. So, and then what else has he had in the middle there? That was kind of his last 3 big ones, I think, unless I'm forgetting something, but got big hopes for the reboot for sure. The trailer cracks me up, so that's a good sign. So yeah, good question, Spooky. Any new movies I want to see? There was 2 of them right there. 3 from Hell, which I believe is already come out in select theaters. I think, I don't know, but man, ugh, those God, Rob Zombie, man, his movies, ugh, not a fan of anything after The Devil's Rejects. It got real downhill real quick. Like Lords of Salem, not a fan. Halloween, not a fan. Never even saw Halloween 2, but I've heard it's really bad. 31, not a fan. Whatever other crazy, weird, wannabe edgelord horror movies he's put out since then. Yeah, don't really do it for me. So I don't know. I'm kind of gonna go into 3 from Hell a little skeptical on that. I'll give it a chance. I want to like it. I've watched The Devil's Rejects 1,000 times. It always seemed felt like kind of a cop out to just bring those characters back when they so very clearly died at the end of The Devil's Rejects. But hey, he'll figure it out. The Devil's Rejects is so tonally different from House of 1,000 Corpses that it's kind of like I'm open for anything out of 3 from Hell. Like he could do pretty much anything genre wise. I mean, like The Devil's Rejects makes House of 1,000 Corpses look like a comedy. And I mean, The Devil's Rejects is a bit of a comedy itself, but it's so much darker and grittier and realistic. I mean, there's no fish boy happening in The Devil's Rejects as much as I do love The House of 1,000 Corpses as well, though they're each bringing something awesome to that series. And I'm hoping that 3 from Hell can add yet another flavor into the mix. I'm pretty open to whatever he wants to try with it. But yeah, after his last batch of shit, I don't know how I'm going to like it. Spooky says, I think 3 from Hell is going to be a letdown. I hope I'm at least entertained. Even that's a high bar. If I'm entertained, then that's a win, because that movie 31, I believe that was his last one, 31. Fucking stupid. It's not funny or edgy or scary. He just keeps going back to the same well of like sexual violence. It's like, all right, we get it. Show me something I haven't seen. Don't just keep trying to step it up and creating something unwatchable. Yeah, Lords of Salem was not good. What else is going on? What else? What else? According to YouTube, there's one person watching. It says there's one person watching. That's not possible because there's several people chatting. So I don't know what the fuck is up with that. I got to figure out what that shit is. Danny Boy says, what do you think of the Underground Hustling track with Shags and Madrox? I think the track is like, the track itself is like not something that I'll be revisiting. I mean, most of the people in it, I don't really care about except for Shaggy and Madrox. I thought their verses were serviceable, but as far as like the politics of it about like, I don't know. I've seen people say things about like Twisted stole the verse from Shaggy, whatever. I don't know. I don't care. That part of it means nothing to me. As far as the song itself, I would say I don't need it. I don't need to hear it again. I checked it out for Madrox and Shaggy's verses, and to be perfectly honest with you, I didn't even remember that Madrox was in it until you said it. I mostly was in it to hear Shaggy shit, but yeah, I don't have any thoughts about the politics of that shit. I have no idea. I know everyone's got theories and stuff, but yeah, this is literally telling me that 0 people are watching. So that's good because that's obviously not true. So I guess my numbers had to have been better than I thought. What else is going on in the world today? Or Juggalo or otherwise? I don't know. I mean, DJ Clay's shit came out a while back, but that's not news anymore. That's old shit. It's all right. I look forward to seeing what Clay's got coming in the future. It's kind of surprising when I was looking at the credits of that DJ Clay album that he didn't produce as many tracks as I thought. I think he has like some, mixing credits and stuff on some of the tracks, but I thought it was going to be more like a Dr. Dre type situation where he's like producing an album, but I don't know. It kind of makes sense if you're if you're rapping, you don't necessarily want to be weighed down with the responsibilities of production as well. Sometimes that can cause the writing to suffer. But I mean, the album's solid. It's fine. If you like DJ Clay's rapping, then it's got something on there for you probably. He had some interesting lines. We had a lot more interesting lyrics than I thought he would have. His writing is good. His flow, I'll be honest, got a little bit repetitive by the end. I felt like he didn't switch it up enough, but hey, he's doing his thing. Can't hate on him. Spooky says ball is on a boat is stale. Yeah, sounds awesome to me. I would gladly do it if I weren't having to pick and choose my my outings. Danny Boy says stale that you're not going. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I would, but I did the gathering this year, and then I did something else that you wouldn't even be interested in hearing about. And then I'm doing Hollow Wicked, and then I'm doing that Jay and Silent Bob thing. It's like there's only so much time and money to go around. So ball is on a boat. I'll have to take the pass option on that for now. But I don't know. I think next year I might focus on doing more non-Juggalo related bucket list things. There's a whole world of things out there. Do I need to go to the gathering again? Maybe. I mean, but when we get closer to gathering time, I'm sure I'll, have a whole other attitude of like, oh, fuck, I can't miss the gathering. But it's kind of like I've been to the gathering 6 times. Is it more important to go to the gathering for a 7th time or to go do something that I've never done before? I don't know. That's why I'm going to Hollow Wicked, which isn't that much of a departure, but point is maybe open it up a little bit. Like I'm a huge fan of Adam Carolla, podcaster, comedian, media personality, Adam Carolla. The other half of when I was saying that Kevin Smith was my inspiration for getting into video production, Adam Carolla is my inspiration for getting into on air media on air. So between the two of them, I attribute them as my biggest influences for getting into this kind of thing. But I would love to go see him live. He does live shows and shit, and he does meet and greets. And I've been a huge Adam Carolla fan as long as I've been a Juggalo, and I've never met him. That would be a cool thing. I've never seen Eminem. I'm a huge fucking Eminem fan. Have been longer than I've been a Juggalo. Never seen him. I would love to go see an Eminem show. It's tough for him because he doesn't tour really. He just does like weird spot dates and then like a mini tour in Europe and shit. I don't know how I'm going to swing that, but if I can, I would love to go see an Eminem show. I'll fly wherever. I'm not going to fly all the way to Europe, but if I have to go to Detroit or somewhere, then that's kind of stuff I want to start looking at more instead of just going to the same things year after year after year. Danny Boy says, any Hollow Wicked speculations? 5th Joker's card. Ooh, that would be awesome. First, I thought you meant when I see the words 5th Joker's card, I think Jekyll Brothers, but I see what you mean. Are they going to reveal the 5th Joker's card? I don't know. That would be a great idea. Although, Fred Fury was revealed at not last year's, but 2017, probably. I don't know. Fred Fury was revealed at Hollow Wicked. Missing Link was revealed at Hollow Wicked. Mighty Death Pop was revealed at Hollow Wicked. Maybe I would say maybe don't do that this year. For one thing, we're still like very much in the midst of the Fred Fury era, so it's like maybe we're too soon on that anyway. But I like when they do shit different. Like, if anything, the Ballers on a Boat, I think, would be a cooler place to show the 5th Joker's card, just to shake it up a little bit, but still feels a little too soon. Juggalo Day 2020 would be a good time, although we haven't heard jack shit about Juggalo Day whatsoever, so I don't know if that's even guaranteed, but yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I'm all down for seeing the 5th Joker's card as soon as possible, but I'm sure if that were part of it, it would already be being talked about. You know how ICP is. They talk about shit for fucking months in advance. I'm sure if they were going to be revealing anything about the 5th Joker's card at Hollow Wicked, we'd already be hearing about it. But who knows? I'd be into checking it out. As far as speculations go, no, I don't have any. I don't foresee any kind of big announcements or releases or anything. Probably just a badass show. Good enough for me. Ooh, Spooky says go do some ayahuasca in South America. That's fucking hardcore. That's like some shit that like someone else in our camp might do. What else is happening? Yeah, there's some talk in the chat here about what the weather is going to be like in Ballas since it's in New York City. I wouldn't know. I've never been to New York City. I would love to go. It's probably one of the only places in America that I'm super interested in going to. I would probably go as far as to say it's literally the only place in America I'd be interested in going to just to see the city. All the other places that I would like to go to are like, if there's some kind of like badass event happening somewhere, like the Juggalo March, it's like seeing DC is cool, but I'm there for the march, and then I see DC while I'm there. New York is like one of the only places that I would like to really go just to go and see all the shit. Primarily because that's where like hip hop was born, for one thing. So that's fucking, there's going to be some historic sites with that kind of shit, but also just like so much of the entertainment industry and all that shit. So yeah, I've never been there before, and My first trip probably won't be to go on a Juggalo cruise, although I'm sure it will be awesome, but gonna have to take the pass option on that one this year. If they would have done the Ballos at the psychopathic warehouse again, if they do that again, I'll be more inclined to go probably because that sounded awesome. I would have liked to go last year, but there's only so many vacation days in the year, people. Yeah, Joker's Gallery says Hollow Wicked in Detroit is a must. You got to check out all the places referenced in the songs and the local record shops while you're there. Yeah, I would love to see like all those streets and shit. I mean, I have no idea what parts of town they're in. I don't know any of that shit, but it would be nice to see some of that stuff. I mean, I've heard the names so many times. Werner, Jefferson, what else is there? Clark Park, that type of shit. They talk about it so much that it's like, you know, it would be cool to see. Zug Island would be cool to see as well, but that's probably in a really remote area, I assume. That would be cool to see, though. I wonder how many weirdo juggalos go by there just to look at it. I'd like to see the guy that operates the Rouge River drawbridge in Delray on Jefferson and tell him fuck him. I wonder if he ever gets that. It probably isn't even a person anymore. It's probably a robot. The mechanism that operates the Rouge River drawbridge in Delray on Jefferson. Cool, cool. Well, according to YouTube, there's 9 people watching, but we fucking know what that means. Jack shit. Would have been fun to get some other people on. Sorry, I didn't know about this bamboozle about no more hangouts on air, which to be honest, hangouts on air kind of sucked ass anyway. So it's like, well, it's probably time that I stepped it up anyway, but that was the way I knew how to do it. I'm just talking about myself like a dumbass. People are gonna see the the video uploaded tomorrow and be like, why is there a 6-hour stream on here? What was Murder Mayhem Show talking about yesterday? And then they'll be severely disappointed to find out it was about a bunch of dumb shit. I could probably cut the Juggalo topics out and make videos. Maybe I'll do that. Who the fuck knows what I'll do? I can do anything. Anyone can do anything they please. What else is going on? Give me some topics. I'll look through Twitter, see if anyone's talking about shit on here. Cardi B says, I don't give one single fuck. Good for her. Good for her. I think most people that say that are probably lying to themselves and others, but more power to her. XXL has counted down the best Andre 3000 verse every year since 1994. I wish I had a strong opinion on that, or I would gladly scroll through that and agree or disagree, but I definitely don't have a super knowledgeable opinion on Andre 3000, although I do give him his respect and credit. He is a pioneer. One cannot deny that. Beneath the Dirt says 17 years ago today, Tech Nine released Absolute Power. That's the shit. Great album. Flawless album. Absolute Power, start to finish. Love it. I remember when the shit came out. I talk about this all the time. I was a Tech Nine fan since I guess Angelic must have been the newest shit he had out at the time, because I remember when Tech Nine put Absolute Power out for free streaming on his website, and I still regard that as one of the most forward thinking moves in music history, really. I mean, it was right when illegal downloading and Napster and shit was making a big stink. People were scared, artists and stuff, rightfully so, of course. People were figuring out how to steal their music. People like me. I was stealing hella music from Napster back in the day. And Tech Nine was on this thing of like, if it's good, people will support it. Like to him, it was more important to put it out there and have it heard. And he was totally right. That is certain. The absolute power of that album is certainly one of the strong foundations of his entire career. Definitely got a lot of people's attention, and I remember it because I'm a Juggalo. So I was down with Tech Nine back before he blew up, and this is a real hot topic especially with Tech Nine himself. He fucking loves to talk about this, and I totally disagree with him on it, but that's okay. Because his whole thing is like, I already had a fan base before the Juggalos heard of me. I mean, I'm sure he had, I know he had, I'm not saying he had nothing. Not saying he had nothing. He had something. But as one of those Juggalos that was there back in the day, I remember how it was when the Juggalos were the ones putting him on. So that's my take on that pretty much. I don't really need to pick a fight with Tech Nine. I love Tech Nine. I'm a big fan, huge fan. Sometimes he says things I don't agree with at all, but I'm sure if he knew who I was, he would disagree with a lot of shit that I say. So that's just part of life. Well, Joker's Gallery says Nevermind by Nirvana came out 28 years ago today. Probably the most important rock album of our generation. Wow. 28 years. Yeah, Nirvana. Good stuff. 28 years ago. So that would have put me at fucking 6 years old. And I like Nirvana. I like that album, of course. But I was 6 years old, you know. If I were like 14 or 17 or something, maybe I would really, it would have impacted me more. But as it is, I enjoy Nirvana, of course. Definitely no problem with that. As for most important rock album of our generation, sounds good to me. I wouldn't have a strong enough differing opinion to weigh in on that, so I'll go with you on that one. Oh, okay. Now there's people in the chat saying "fuck Nirvana." I like Nirvana. I like the shit they had on the radio. See, it's like a lot of my music knowledge from growing up comes from what was being played on the radio. I mean, as far other than like my shit, like Juggalo shit, you know. But like as far as things like Nirvana go, like I never owned a Nirvana album. I had every Nirvana MP3. That was how I was getting down with MP3s at the time. I was literally just putting in artist names and downloading every song they ever made. I usually did not listen to a vast majority of them, but I mean, I like all the Nirvana songs I've ever heard on the radio, which probably amounts to a good, what, 9 or 10 songs, probably. So I would consider that a win. I know they don't have that many albums, but I got no problem with them at all. I think Spooky says Mick Jagger. That's a rock star, man. Not no kid fucking rock. This may or may not be a reference to Basketball Head from the Purple Show. It's been a while since I've seen it, but that's what comes to mind. Mary Jane, I don't think I even have Skype, so I'll have to deal with this later. Oh, yeah, you're right. It wasn't Basketball Head. It was crossing over with Dirt and Glomer. Oh, yep. You just I got there right before you right before I saw you say it, but yeah, so gosh, what else? I'm not ready to get offline yet. I'm dedicating my fucking life away from my day job to this fucking shit. You already heard about that shit up top. I'll keep streaming as long as anyone wants to listen. But what I really got to figure out is Streamlabs. People are telling me Streamlabs. I'll figure it out. Got to get Beneath the Dirt on here. Got to get fucking Tales from the Blood Lotus podcast boys on here. Got to get Chuck Reeves on here. Got to get CPN on here. Got to get Brooklyn Menace on here. Got to get fucking DC Fago guy on here. Got to get fucking Crazy McCormick on here. Got to get fucking who else? Roxy Riddlebox on here. Got to get Bronco Juggalo on here. Got to get fucking Whoops on here. Y'all don't know about that shit. I think it's whoopscomics.com or some shit. Whoops with Yerkin Creeper. Spooky News. Got to get them on here. Mary Jane says she's leaving me to watch Kyle Driver Power Hour. Well, I'm sure his show is much better than mine, so more power to you. That's like for a time there, I was thinking like all of the podcasters need to work out like a programming schedule so that we're not overlapping. I know Chuck Reeves hopped on, started doing his shit. I got a notification about that about an hour ago. So I know he's doing his shit. I know he does a lot of Fortnite and stuff now, so it's pretty entertaining. I'll watch. Fucking if I see someone streaming, I try to beep it out when I can. Thought of another one. Speaker Clout, got to get those guys on here. List goes on, and that's not even including like the name drop people, the people that I tweet with that have expressed interest on doing the show. I don't want to drop their names, but gotta fucking get it together, and it all starts with this. Getting back into it. I'm going to make this stream so long that people go back, that people see how long it is, and it makes them not want to watch it. That's the goal. We're about an hour and a half in. But what happens if I sign off? My life reverts back to being unproductive, and I can't have it. Excuse the burps and hiccups and shit. I'm a monster. I'm going to take a brief 30-second to 2.5 minute intermission to refill my beverage and go to the bathroom. I need a fresh graphic or just like a piece of paper that's like, be right back. Be right back. Okay, here goes the other big secret. Yes, I drink one of these V8 energies first thing to get going, but then the rest of my caffeine intake for the day, Mio Energy, probably made in a fucking dirty warehouse somewhere, created via test tubes and beakers. But it's no calories. It's pretty much just straight caffeine and flavoring. Squirt that shit into your drink. Better for you than Coke, Coca-Cola, and cane. Pretty much all my whole deal is just like find the easiest way to do everything. What else is going on? I need some fucking Juggalo shit to talk about. Let me keep scrolling on Twitter. Maybe that should be the show. Just me scrolling on Twitter and talking about the shit that I see on there. I wonder if that's like violating any kind of trust to just start reading people's tweets on my show. I don't know. I see some interesting shit on here. Sugar Slam says, I'll be at Hollow Wicked, of course. That's cool. Always loved Sugar Slam. I always thought she was a great contribution to this whole thing. And as far as I know it, she didn't really know much of anything about Juggalo culture before she hooked up with Violent J, but she really slid right in there. And of course, is a part of one of the all-time most iconic parts of Juggalo history, which is that infomercial that was so ruthlessly parodied by everybody. But hey, I'm not mad at her for it. And she was fucking doing her thing. Yeah, I always like Sugar Slam. It's super hot as well. So for whatever that's worth, that never hurts. But I think every woman that likes ICP is hot. The hot ones and the not hot ones. They're all hot to me. Scrolling on Twitter. A lot of people talking about nothing. An old picture of Eminem playing PlayStation. I don't even have my OBS hooked up to this. Like, I need to get it so that I can put up graphics and shit. I just wanted to get going right away, so I didn't fuck with any of that shit. Spooky, I just need to have you on the show so you can just make shit up and talk about it like it's true. That was pretty much going down the entire gathering. And at first, I was believing it until I trained myself to question everything that you said. What else is happening on Twitter? Fuck, I'm sorry. This is boring. I thought this would be more interesting. Someone on Twitter says, who are your top 3 favorite horror icons? That's an interesting topic. I would start with Jason Voorhees, number 1 for sure. Number 2, I'm going with who I feel is the unsung hero of Chucky. And then 3 is kind of a toss-up. Kind of Jason and Chucky are the only 2 that I have real strong feelings about. Although, if you want to call Jigsaw an icon, I would put him in the mix. Spooky says, I need more wall art. Yeah, possibly. Joker's Gallery says, how did King Spade sound at the gathering? They sounded cool. They were good, you know. They do Cottonmouth songs, which is, as far as I'm concerned, it's like, as long as you have Richter and D-Lo, pretty much you've pretty much got the most important people. That's no disrespect to the other dudes in the group, but if I had to pick just two people to carry on Cottonmouth Kings, which is basically what they're doing with Kingspade, it would be those two. I like Daddy X. I thought Dirtball was a great addition while he was around. I mean, Saint Dog was great back in the day, but kind of sucked ass on that last album. So, yeah, I have no problem calling D-Loc and Richter Kingspade or Cottonmouth or whatever they want to call themselves. Gino Blaze says, "Did you watch Ghostman at the Gathering?" I did watch Ghostman at the Gathering, and that shit was weird as fuck. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't really know who he was. In fact, I literally did not know who he was at all until he was announced for the Gathering. And then I did a little bit of digging on some of the artists that I wasn't familiar with and heard some of his shit. And I got his vibe that he was throwing down. Sounded like it was going to be lit live. So I did have some interest in seeing it, but yeah, the performance was fucking bananas. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And I haven't been to a million gatherings, but I've been to a half dozen gatherings, so I've seen some pretty weird shit. And that was among the weirdest performances that I've ever seen. By the time it got to the dominatrixes riding the fat guys around and shit, I was like, okay, this is about the peak amount of weirdness that I can handle. People seem to enjoy it though. He probably had one of the best and biggest mosh pits that I saw of the entire gathering. So good for him. More power to him. I bet they'll have him back at some point. Yeah, the Gino Blaze says I like the guys with the smoke gun things. Yeah, that was the shit. That was cool. Stuff like that I like. Totally. And there was a woman on stilts. Just all kinds of weirdness. Hmm. Well, Spooky, who are you thinking has the best verses in Cottonmouth Kings? He says that he disagrees with me and he can prove it. So I'm curious who he has in mind. If it's not D-Loc and Richter, then I don't know who you're thinking. Daddy X, I guess. I don't know. You tell me. Um, Joker's Gallery says, "What were the ICP home movies?" Yeah, I kind of wanted to see that, but I didn't. It was just one of those things that didn't make the cut. I wanted to. I think one of the home movies was after the Bruce Brothers seminar. Like both of the nights that they did the home movies, it was the last thing of the night. So by that point, you're pretty much ready to call it a night if you've been up since 6 in the morning or whatever. But yeah, I heard that they're not that interesting anyway. But I'd like to have seen them maybe next year if they do it again. Spooky says Richter and X have the best verses in Cottonmouth. I mean, that's fair too. I personally prefer D-Loc myself, but what else? Madrox Monoxide 777 says Wizard Dick. Not sure why, but I like it. Wizard Dick, everyone. Fuck. Yeah. I might go for another 20 minutes or so and then wrap this shit up because I'm going to start boring people. Twitter's not helping me. Maybe I should have asked ahead of time on Twitter and said, send me some shit you want to hear me talk about. Instead, I'm just scrolling through the feed like a goon. Yeah, see, this is what the fuck. I feel like I've been out of touch from Twitter and the internet for like a month, and then I go back to see, and nothing interesting has happened. So, oh fuck. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I know this guy, Madrox Monoxide 777, and I also remember now that he identified himself that he had this name. He told me that this was his name. So, yes, Wizard Dick. That checks out. This all makes sense now. Well, what's up, Madrox Monoxide? If I may call you by your real name, Bonesaw, your Christian name, Bonesaw. Give me something to talk about, Bonesaw. Give me a topic, Juggalo shit or otherwise. I'm just running out the clock up here. It's getting a little low, a little slow. After I finish this, I might hop on Twitch and do that for a while. Next week I'm going to start a brand new show. And it's going to be totally unrelated to Juggalo shit. And there's actually going to be a real co-host here in the quote unquote studio with me. So that'll be exciting for you guys. Joker's Gallery says Mono said Venomous 5 has some songs recorded already and 10 new twisted tracks. Hold on a minute. Anyway. So yeah, I've heard this that there was some new Venomous 5 shit. I saw Beneath the Dirt say something about that, but I didn't actually watch the video, so I didn't know where he got his information. I fully believed him, of course, but I didn't know where that came from. So what was that, on a live stream or something that he said that? I certainly look forward to hearing it. Those Venomous 5 tracks are pretty badass, the ones that have come out. And correct me if I'm wrong, you know, any experts, but that's only 2 songs now, right? There's the one on The Almighty, which is awesome, and the one on Generation Nightmare, which is pretty good as well. So, yeah, I mean, in a world where we don't have proper Lotus, Venomous 5 is probably going to be the next best thing for a while. And I feel like Axe really brings out the best in Twisted. So that's cool. If they have, what did you say, 10? Oh, some songs recorded already. 10 new Twisted tracks. I wonder what those are for. A new album already, I wonder? Generation Nightmare just came out, so we'll see. But you know, Twisted, they're always dropping out singles and shit all the time, so maybe we'll hear some new shit soon. I hope they get away from the Generation Nightmare sound, get back a little more to the old school sound, but that's just me. No hate there, personal preference only. I know a lot of people really love Generation Nightmare. Bonesaw says, did we already talk about the new Ouija track Poison? I don't believe I've heard the new Ouija track Poison. This is how checked out I am. I got to give it a listen. I like Ouija. Everyone knows I'm a big Ouija supporter. What up, JP, the Wicked Ninja? Yeah, I like AXE a lot. I consider The Almighty to be one of the best albums of this generation of horrorcore. In fact, I've made the perhaps controversial statement before that I think The Almighty is better than Fearless Fred Fury. So take that how you like. I really like Fearless Fred Fury a lot, for sure. For sure. I listen to that shit every fucking day. I listen to Fearless Fred Fury every day. But overall, as an overall complete package, I would say that The Almighty is a better album. I would even venture to call it a flawless album. I give it the rarely given score 10 out of 10. I rarely call an album a 10 out of 10. There's a lot of old school albums I call 10 out of 10. But as far as anything like after the year 2010 gets a little more dicey and like shit. Honestly, I know we're getting into some controversial shit here, but I would go as far as to say that ICP hasn't made a 10 out of 10 album since fucking Juggalo Brothers. So chew on that nugget. I wouldn't call either of their eighth albums a 10 out of 10. I wouldn't call Bang Pow Boom a 10 out of 10. I would call Death Pop a 9 out of 10 because I really like that album a lot. But I mean, keep in mind that we're taught that you have to keep in mind a separation of like purely the music on its own with no other factors weighing in at all, and then there's like the X factor of the fact that it's like ICP fills a hole in me spiritually that no one else is capable of doing. So it's like to that end, I would rather listen to the Mighty Death Pop, like, you know, more than I would rather listen to the Almighty. But if we're talking purely objectively, then I think the Almighty is a better album. What are you gonna do about it? Gino Blaze says there's no 10s since Riddlebox. Oh man, even Malenko? You're not gonna call Malenko a 10? Even Juggalo Brothers, like I mean, Juggalo Brothers is my personal favorite album of all time by anyone ever. But I understand people calling that even a 9 or an 8 just based on pure personal preference for them. But Malenko, come on. Malenko's a universal 10, I say. How you going to argue with that shit? Danny Boy says Fred Fury is a 10 out of 10. Well, good. I'm glad you feel that way. I call it an 8 out of 10. We can go through the rankings if you like. Let's start from the beginning. I can do this quickly because I've given it much thought before. Carnival of Carnage, I'm calling a 10 out of 10. Ringmaster, I'm calling a 10 out of 10. Malenko, I'm calling it. Riddlebox, I'm calling a 10 out of 10. All three of those EPs, Beverly Kills, Terror Wheel, Tunnel of Love, 10 out of 10. Malenko's a 10 out of 10. Juggalo Brothers is a 10 out of 10. Bizarre is when the wheels start falling off. And I'll call them 9 out of 10, but frankly, 8 out of 10 is probably more accurate. But nah, 9 out of 10 for each of the Bizarre albums. Shangri-La, I'm going to call that a fucking 7 out of 10. Sorry and shit. Hell's Pit, I'm going to call that an 8 out of 10. The Tempest, I'm going to call that a fucking 7 out of 10. Bang Pow Boom, I'll call that one a 7 out of 10. Death Pop, I already said was a 9. Each of the missing, I'm gonna call Missing Link Lost a 5 and Found a 6. Sorry and shit. I told you I thought it was the 2 weakest albums I ever made. And I take the sometimes controversial opinion of Found being better than Lost, even though Found has more songs. Stay with me on here. I don't know how to articulate this. Found has more songs that I dislike more than the songs I dislike the most on Lost. But it also has more songs that I like more than the songs that I like the most on Lost. So it's more polarizing. You have tracks on Found that I fucking love to death, like Found and Lost at the Carnival and the Midway and some other good ones. I Fucked a Cop I like is good for a funny one. I like Dreams of Grandeur a lot. I know that's one that people hate on, but at the same time, Juggalo Party, don't like it. The World Is Yours. Don't like it. I listen to it a lot because I like the message behind it. I like what it's trying to do, but sonically, I think it's not a very good song. Okay. It's an accurate name. That is an okay song. Same deal. I don't like the sound of it. I like listening to it because I like what it's putting out there, but it's not a great song. So there's that. Whereas Lost doesn't have any tracks that I really love besides probably Falling Apart. And then it has a few songs that I like a lot, like How and Confederate Flag I like. And then after that, other than those, it's like I don't need the rest of them. So even though Fountain has more songs that I dislike more than the ones I dislike the most on Lost, it still has like enough really great songs for me to put it a full grade above Lost. And I'm tired of all the fucking Young Wicked shit. I mean, I know that's not a problem anymore, but ugh, like I'm in a way, it's almost good that all that shit happened because I didn't want to hear Young Wicked all over everything for the rest of ICP's career. We probably would have had Young Wicked all over Fearless Fred Fury too, if it weren't for that bullshit. So, uh, okay, and then sorry, I derailed there talking about Missing Link. Fearless Fred Fury, I give an 8 out of 10. So I would call that one strongly the second best. Well, marginally, maybe not. No, marginally to strongly. The second best album of this deck, right after Death Pop. It's kind of between that and Bang Pow Boom, but yeah, I'll say strongly. I'll give that one an 8, whereas I gave Bang Pow Boom a 7. But Flip, someone asked about Flip. Where's that? Yeah, JP the Wicked Kid says, what about the Flip EP? I'll tell you, mediocre. The only Flip tracks that really get into my rotation heavy are Hungry, and I think there's another one that I really like a lot. But yeah, Hungry I like a lot. Be Safe, I'll be honest, don't really like it that much. In general, I don't really like the happy shit. I don't. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make people happy by singing happy shit, but I think what the disconnect here is that what really makes people happy is the wicked shit. So it's like, stick to that. I don't want to hear this fucking be safe bullshit. So, uh, and then like Fight Back is a decent track, and Revenge is a decent track, and it's got some good shit on there as well. But Flip, I would call mediocre. I didn't weigh in on the Calm or the Eye of the Storm either. I'd probably give the Calm like 6. I don't like doing halves. Once you start getting into like decimals, like 6.5 and shit, you totally undermined the whole scale because then it's like, okay, well now we're dealing with an infinite number range. So 6.6 out of 10, you might as well say a 66 out of 100. Like, why are we even doing a 1 to 10 scale if we're going to start fucking with decimals and shit? I tend to stick with the whole numbers, 1 to 10 whole numbers. And the Calm, I'll probably give that a 6. I'd probably have to take another good look at the track list to weigh in on that. It's definitely got some bangers, but when it came out, I was certainly not fucking with it too heavy. Eye of the Storm, I really didn't like a lot at all when it came out. And then I came to realize it had some good shit on there. What's everyone talking about? People seem to interact more when I talk about Juggalo shit. So, Spooky says, be safe over freedom. Bullshit. See, this is why Fearless Fred Fury is a brilliant album, though, because even the soft shit on it is really good. Like, there's a way to do soft shit that works. And to me, all the soft tracks on Fearless Fred Fury are perfect examples, which I would consider the soft tracks to be Satellite, Nobody's Fault, and Freedom. those are, I would, for one thing, I'd love that they limited it to 3. Just 3 soft ones. And even those soft ones are like not that soft. Like they're still good songs. They're not in your face with their softness. Nobody's Fault is a little in your face with the softness, but Freedom is like as good of a version of that as you can possibly do. Like Freedom is the good version of The World Is Yours. Whereas I listen to The World Is Yours a lot because I like the message and stuff. Freedom is the same message, but a much better, much better song. Perhaps sometimes I entertain the idea that is my favorite track on the entire Fred Fury album, although I generally think of that as West Werner Ave. So I love Freedom a lot, and compared to Be Safe, especially, I really like it a lot more. What's going on in the chat? See, this is the good stuff, I guess. I got to talk about ICP shit. That'll get people talking. Danny Boy says Tempest gets a 10. Hey, I think The Tempest, I would say, is the most underrated album of the entire ICP discography, although people seem to be enjoying it more now. That tends to be how it goes. I saw the same shit happen with Mighty Death Pop where people hated on it, and now it's fairly beloved. Tempest is the same deal. When it came out, people were hating on it. Myself included, I was not super receptive towards it, but then as time goes by, people have come to appreciate it more and more, and I include myself in that as I truly enjoy it a lot. Joker's Gallery says Bang Pow Boom was a 10. He says I'm biased because I was at the 2009 gathering where they played those songs live before we heard them. Oh, that's cool. Well, there you go. 10 though? Come on, with Miracles on there? Miracles and what else? There's some other dumb shit on there. I love Bang Pow Boom. Great album, but some of that shit's just like you could have cut that. Bonesaw says Wizard of the Hood is a 9.8. Wizard of the Hood is a great album. Wizard of the Hood is a weird case to me also because some of those songs I don't think are that great, but they are great as part of the package of it all. So it works. Joker's Gallery says Malenko and Riddlebox are 11s. That's fair. Malenko and Riddlebox are millions. Joker's Gallery says Bizarre is better than Carnival of Carnage for me. This is probably objectively, I don't know, because you got to look at it track for track, but also just as an entire package. And Bizarre each have songs that I don't think are great, but Carnival of Carnage doesn't have any songs that I think are bad, like Rainbows and stuff. I think that hurts the Bizarre albums. That might be the only one. Come to think of it, I'd have to really break it down. Let me pull up the Bizarre track lists real quick and really get into that. What the fuck? I googled Bizarre, and it found some place in Richmond, Virginia. Okay, well, I don't want that. I want the ICP albums. I spelled it wrong and everything. Oh, Bizarre. Yeah, that's another song that I don't like. The title track off Bizarre. It's a little too stupid for me. Cherry Pie is great. Questions is great. Mr. Happy is great. Radio Stars is funny, so it's great. My Axe is great. If, that's another one I find a little bit iffy. No pun intended. Not a huge fan of If. A little too stupid. Let's Go All the Way is great. Let It Kill is great. Juggalo Paradise is great. Crystal Ball is great. Let me go to the other Bizarre. Take Me Away is great. Fearless is great. Rainbows and Stuff is mediocre. What is great. Still Stabbing is great. Tilt the World is great. We Gives No Fucks is great. Please Don't Hate Me is funny, so it's great. Behind the Paint is great. Homie Baby Mama Drama is funny and great. And Pendulum Promise is great. Wow, do I actually like the second Bizarre album, Bizaar, more than Bizzar? I don't know. They're each the same though. I would give each of them a 9. Yeah, those are some great fucking albums. But I've always said another controversial opinion, which is that if you took the best tracks off each of the Bizarre albums, and you wouldn't have to cut much because each of them have like 20 minutes of silence at the end for the hidden tracks. So you actually don't have to cut that many. You only have to cut a few. And if you do that, you would have a better 6th Joker's card than each of the Wraith albums. And I think that's what they should have done. Every time I say that, people say, well, the Bizarre albums wouldn't work as a Joker's card because there's no theme. It's not that hard. Slap an intro on there, write something in the booklet, you'll figure it out. It probably wouldn't do the same heaven and hell thing that you did with the Wraith albums, but you'll figure something out. You'll make some shit up. You'd have a better album musically, so that's what I think they should have done. Little did they know that Mike Clark was on the way out after that. Maybe that would have changed their approach. Oh yeah, Bonesaw asked about Mr. Whitesuit from Found. That is also a good one that I really like a lot. For show. He says You Should Know is a good one. I don't like the hook on it. It's got a great beat and it's got really good verses. Bad hook. Blows the whole song. Same with Flamethrower. Same with Apocalypse. Same with a bunch of songs on Lost, unfortunately. I See the Devil, same fucking thing there. Good song, good verse, bad hook. Even How, I think, has a lame hook on it, but it's just barely good enough to be good. What else? Juno Blaze says the booklets made those Bizarre albums. Yeah, those booklets are pretty awesome. Yeah, the hidden songs are good. I guess it just seems like such a cop out because they just made that 2 albums to try to get out of their contract quicker, so they fulfilled 2 albums at once, and it's just like, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that version of half-assing it. I know I was talking at the start of the stream about how half-assing it is a good thing, but I don't like that version. That's just seemed like laziness to me. Joker's Gallery says Take Me Away is a top 10 ICP song. It's a fucking awesome song. Top 10? I'm not going to argue with you. That comes down to personal preference. But man, top 10. I can't even imagine what the top 10 ICP songs would be. I can't hardly even imagine the top 1 ICP song. I have a hard enough time with that shit. So maybe if I had to pick 10 in no particular order, I would put Piggy Pie Old School on there. And I usually call that my number 1, but it kind of just depends. That's definitely up there. Southwest Voodoo, I'd put up there. I'm going to fuck this up because there's too many great ones. And a lot of them are probably going to come from Malenko. Man, top 10 ICP songs. God, I don't know. I can't even go down this road. There's too many. I'd probably put Tilt-A-Whirl above Take Me Away, but it's all fucking close at that point. Hey, Speaky Clout is in the chat. What up to him for sure. Definitely. Joker's Gallery says Wraith albums are my least favorite cards except Lost and Found. I would probably almost. I almost totally agree with that, but I would put Hell's Pit above Bang Pow Boom for sure. And then Shangri-La and Bang Pow Boom are really close to me. Like they're really close to me. No. They're really close. Man, that's a close one. I'd probably put Shangri-La above Hell's Pit. I would not do that. I'd probably put Shangri-La above Bang Pow Boom, mostly for murder rap. Murder Rap alone boosts that entire Shangri-La album. That's for sure the best track on that album, if you ask me. I also really like the title track, The Wraith. That's a good one. I really like the unveiling, the message of it notwithstanding, although I'm fine with that as well. But that's a really good song that I like a lot. Cotton Candy and Popsicles is a fucking stupid song. Crossing the Bridge is not one of my fucking favorites. So that's a very hit and miss album for me. Get You Wicked On is like almost awesome, but it has all that he does, we do. I hate that shit. It's annoying. Blam has a similar problem. You're the lucky one. It's annoying. That shit like fucks those songs up. What else we got going here? Yeah, the shit's blowing up now. I mean, it says I have 11 viewers. Who the fuck knows? Danny Boy says found equals least favorite ICP album of all time. I'll take that since, as I said, it's my second least favorite, only to be outdone by Lost. Ooh, Danny Boy says The World Is Yours equals worst ICP song of all time. 2 out of 10. You've thrown out two interesting opinions here. One, that The World Is Yours is the worst ICP song of all time, and also that the worst ICP song of all time is a 2 out of 10. The World Is Yours, as I keep coming back to this point, I like the song because I like the message. The song is kind of lame as fuck, but I like what it's trying to tell you. Generally, my whole thing is that I like every song ICP has ever done because they all have something I can enjoy about them, whether it's the beat or the lyrics or a catchy hook or verses, I should say. So that will include lyrics and flow. It's either got like whether it's the verses, the beat, or the hook. Then every ICP song has something I like about it, except for the Chop Chop slide. Fuck that song. 0 out of 10. That song is stupid as hell. Worst ICP song of all time. What else? Take Me Home. That's a good song. I'm not sure why Juno Blaze brought it up, but I do like it. Bonesaw says Mad Professor, Old Evil Eye, Halls of Illusions. 3 fucking awesome songs. Literally every song. Literally every song from between Beverly Kills and Jekyll Brothers is a 10. And I'm even extending that to Carnival of Carnage as well. But that's kind of more dicey of a statement. So let me just set that aside, even though I do feel that way about Carnival of Carnage as well. But unequivocally, I feel from Beverly Kills up to Juggalo Brothers, and that includes all the Forgotten Freshness 1 and 2 as well, and Hollow Wicked, Pendulum, everything. Is Pendulum? Yeah, Pendulum before Juggalo Brothers. Anyway, everything between those two albums, every song is a 10 out of 10. So that's why it gets hard to rank them for me at that point. Spooky says Mike Clark Murder Mix or DJ Clay's mixtapes. I mean, I don't have super strong feelings about either of them. Probably from the Mikey Clark ones, which I always try to go off the top of my head with this kind of shit if I can. I really like Cotton Candy Land, and the Schizophrenic remix is pretty good, and there's one of the Eye of the Storm tracks remix is pretty good. That's kind of about as far as I fuck with them with the murder mixes. And then with DJ Clay, I'll go with the DJ Clay mixtapes. I really like Kept Grinding, and yeah, I'll go with the DJ Clay mixtapes. Speaky Clout says Shangri-La is flawless to me, minus Blam. I've already made my feelings about Blam. Oops. Let's go back up. Spooky says, "Don't try and fight me on saying the world is yours is the worst ICP song." So that's two. That's two people saying the world is yours is the worst ICP song. Come on, the worst. I can think of worse than that though, and I don't even like I keep saying I don't even think the song is that great. I can come up with worse than that. Oh, by the way, are we including shit like "We're a family, family. Every one of us is family. Where would I be without family? We're family." If that's an ICP song, then that's a fucking 0 out of 10 as well. Could have gone my whole life without ever listening to that shit. That's really more of a Violent J fucking around type thing, though. We're family, family. That was the type of shit that was coming out when I was fucking like, how old would I have been? That's 2003, Forgotten Freshness 3. So I'm fucking 18 years old at that point. That's like the shit that was 17, 18, depending on what month it came out. That's the shit that was coming out when I was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me? I grew up on the wicked shit. Now you're doing this shit. It's all good. I think I totally, yeah, no, I totally misunderstood what Spooky said about the world is yours. He was saying, don't try and fight me on it. Like he disagreed. Okay. That makes sense. Joker's Gallery says Wraith albums are good. Didn't sound like Joker's cards to me. Bang Pow Boom did because Mikey Clark produced it. That's what most impressive about FFF. It sounds like a Joker's card without MEC. I'll agree with everything you said there. What do you guys think Shangri-La versus Hell's Pit? I want to hear you weigh in on that because I usually go Hell's Pit. Not usually. I do. I go Hell's Pit over Shangri-La, but sometimes I catch resistance on that. Suicide Hotline is put that's in my fucking top 10 IC for it, that we're talking top 10 ICP songs of all time. Suicide Hotline for sure is in there, and I'll also go as far as to say for sure the only non Mikey Clark track I would put in my top 10. That's a Fritz beat, and that is a great song. Joker's Gallery says Mexico City is the worst ICP song. Again, this is one where it's like, okay, the song's not great. I do agree with you. The song's like not that good, but it's like it's so innocuous. It's not like offensively bad. It's not aggressively annoying. So like a song like that, it's like I don't. It's not part of my main rotation. But if I were doing a complete Tempest listen through, I wouldn't groan at that one. In fact, the only one on the Tempest that I would say I really don't like is um, I Do This. Everything else on the Tempest is at least good, from good to great. I would call good like on the Tempest. An example of a good track would probably be like Alley Rat. I'd call that a good one. I'd call a great track probably something like I don't know, The Tower. That song rocks. The Tempest, I like the title track a lot. I like Play My Song and What About Now. Those are good. If I Was a Serial Killer is a great one. Bitch I Lied is a good one. Yeah, that's a good CD. I don't know why I didn't like it that much at the time. Where are we at? Where are we at? Yeah, this shit's fun. See, this is the type of shit I could do all day. I know I had a lot of weird topics up top, but now we're getting into it. KKK. Some people are saying fuck Mexico City. Some people are saying they love it. Speaky Clout says every ICP album from the 90s is flawless for me. I'm with you, brother. Right on. Danny Boy says, then again, I also love the Calm and the Tempest. I mean, those are good, fine CDs, though. Let me look at the Calm so I can really break that one down. Calm EP. Here we go. Rolling Over. That's a good song. Oh, the Calm, by the way, I always really liked how ICP did all the production themselves, and I would like to see them do a whole LP that way because I think the production on the Calm is really good. I think it's really good because I thought Mike P did kind of a mediocre job on Shangri-La. Real talk. I think the production on that album is not too good. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I'm just not appreciating his brilliance or something. But coming off all the first 5 Joker's cards and stuff, I was kind of let down by Mike P's shit on Shangri-La. Whereas now I think Mike P has vastly improved. Some of the best beats on Lost and Found are Mike P, and I think even Fred Fury. I'd have to look at the credits again, but like Mike P did, off the top of my head, he did Confederate Flag, I'm pretty sure, and he did. I almost said How, but I think that might be a Young Wicked one. Anyway, I think he's gotten way better since Shangri-La. So why was I talking about that? Oh, right, the Calm. Because after the Wraith albums, when ICP put out the Calm and they said they did all the production themselves, I was like, oh, okay, this shit might actually work without Mike Clark. If this is how it's going to be, then they might actually be able to pull this shit off. And then, of course, Mike Clark ended up getting back into the fold soon after that anyway. But anyway, Rolling Over, I think, is a good song. Rosemary, good beat, good verses, bad hook. Shame. Crop Circles, mediocre all the way around. Deadbeat Mom's great. One of my favorites on the Calm for sure. That's a good one. Will Be All Right, mediocre all the way around with a bad hook. Like it like that, mediocre all the way around with no, not even mediocre, weak all the way around. Off the Track, really good. So that's what I'm going with. Yeah, that's a so-so album. Okay. Juno Blaze says, fuck those hills at the Gathering. Sure, why not? Bonesaw says High Rise. Oh, see, High Rise was an interesting one to me because that's on Eye of the Storm, of course. That's I think the original was like not that good, but the remix that's on one of the DJ Clay mixtapes is awesome. That's like probably what I would call my most improved by a remix song that Psychopathic has, other than Chicken Huntin', perhaps. Well, no, see, I don't know though, because the original Chicken Huntin's still pretty good. So if we're talking the biggest gap between like not good and really good, I would say High Rise probably remix probably fills that gap better than any other remix that I can think of. Yeah, I like the High Rise remix quite a bit. Joker's Gallery says Beverly Kills is a 10 plus. Right on. That's my favorite ICP EP, although I usually say that Beverly Kills, Terror Wheel, and Tunnel of Love are pretty much equal to me. Almost exactly equal. Just with gun to my head, I go with Beverly Kills because I really like the title track a lot, and Joke Your Mind, of course. That's on Beverly Kills, right? I'm gonna fucking embarrass myself if it's not. Sometimes I get mixed up on those EPs, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, of course it is. The Stalker, great one as well. See, Joker's Gallery says Rock the Dead Body Man was fire. It almost was, but I don't like how it goes back and forth. Like, which one does it start with? It starts with, yeah, I like it when it's Dead Body Man over the Rock the Dead beat. I don't like it when it's Rock the Dead over the Dead Body Man beat. If they would have kept it just as Dead Body Man over the Rock the Dead beat, I'd fuck with it way more. Danny Boy says favorite Sideshow EP. I already answered that one before even seeing the question. Spooky says you obviously didn't hear the Magical Bag of Poop. The Magical Bag of Poop is in fact a bag of poop, but it does have some good shit on it. Like, let me look that one up. I am Googling Magical Bag of Poop. This is where we are in society. And if what you're getting at is that it has a totally unredeemable tracks on it, oh yeah, $1 Million Bill. That's kind of a stupid one. Um, yeah, I Can't is a good song. Headbrush Brothers, I don't like that much, but it's kind of a funny idea. $1 Million Bill is barely even a song. Ride or Die is a scratch track. Sally McNally, I don't even remember that shit. So it probably sucks. And then there's that Ruby, whatever. Don't need to weigh in on her. What else we got here? Speaking Clout says Shangri-La over Hell's Pit. Yeah, forgot I asked that. Speaking Clout says Shangri-La over Hell's Pit. And I know that Beneath the Dirt fucking loathes Hell's Pit. It's one of the things that we clash on. Danny Boy says Shangri-La over Hell's Pit, but very close. Juno says Shangri-La for me. Better Dark album goes to Hell's Pit. See, this is a weird thing about the Missing Link albums, too, though. I would argue that Found has more Wicked shit on it than Lost. No reason to make that 2 albums. You take the darkest, you cut out all that happy bullshit and put Lost and Found 1 album, you'd have a fine album. It'd be fine. It'd still be the weakest, but it'd be fine. But like Lost at the Carnival, that's Wicked shit. The Midway, that's Wicked shit. Okay. Spooky says Shangri-La over Hell's Pit. Man, see, no one's with me on this one. So Shangri-La over Hell's Pit Gathering 2018 made me actually enjoy some of Hell's Pit, though. It was a great night. I'll tell you what also is a great album is yeah, and that was a badass show, by the way, if you're referring to the Hell's Pit show. That was the highlight of that entire gathering, maybe? That was 2018. Okay, so that's Whoopstock. No, that was a great gathering. Um, Hell's Pit show was good. It was definitely way better than the Shangri-La show that they did in Oklahoma City. Just performed better, done better. But Hell's Cellar, I think, is a really great album. And there's tracks on Hell's Cellar that I for sure would have cut from that I would have. There's tracks for sure from Hell's Pit that I would have cut to put some of the Hell's Cellar shit on there. Pretty much all of them, honestly, except for the one that I believe is called the Big Bad Wolf. All of those other tracks on Hell's Cellar are fucking the shit. I love that EP. Like Clown Show, that's great shit. Fucking The Truth, that's great shit. Probably would have improved the hook a little bit, but the verses are amazing, and that Past the Axe beat rules. Spontaneous Combust, that song fucking rocks. That's an awesome song. The one that's like the Taking It Away, Violent J version, way the fuck better than the A and B version. I like that one a lot too. Although they put Taking It Away on Forgotten Freshness 6 as well, with Shaggy on the hook instead, and it wasn't as good. But the Hell Cellar version of Taking It Away, I think, is a great song. So, yeah, I really like that LP a lot, or EP a lot. And I probably missed some even, but yeah. Mm, I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. You're throwing out names of songs, but I don't know the context. Spooky says The Party. The Party's a good song. Danny Boy says Growing Again. That's a good song. Oh, because I was talking about the Tempest tracks. Yeah. Yeah, those are good. I like them both. Joker's Gallery says a lot of Hell's Pit sounded like forced Wicked to me. That's probably fair to say. There's too much funny shit on it. Yeah, like bowling balls I would cut. Um yeah, it just doesn't fit. Fallen Angels I would cut. Truly Alone is a good song, but it only really gets awesome in the last verse when he starts, I took a chainsaw at a Circle K, whatever the fuck. That's the good part. The rest of it's just kind of lame. But I still do like that song though. Hmm. Joker's Gallery says Play My Song is underrated. That's fair. It's certainly one of the ones that went under my radar until I gave the album multiple listens over the years. And that rarely happens with ICP for me. It's weird. There's the Tempest. This is real talk. The Tempest and Bang Pow Boom are probably the only two albums for the entire time that I've been a Juggalo that I didn't listen to on day one. Because, like, I loved the shit that I was growing up on so much. You know, like when I first started listening to ICP, the newest thing that they had out was Jekyll Brothers. This was post Jekyll Brothers, pre Bizarre Bizarre. And so, going back to what I said earlier, we're talking about an entire catalog of songs that are only amazing and nothing less than amazing. So when you're coming off of hundreds and hundreds of perfect songs, and then like Shangri-La came out, and I was like, okay, it's cool to hear the sixth, but it's not as good as the other shit. And then Hell's Pit was like, okay, this also is not the greatest, because as much as I do like it, it's like I just said, there's tracks on there I would cut. And then like when the Tempest came, I guess the Calm would have been next. And then when the Tempest came out, by that point I was just like, okay, I'll just listen to the old shit, I guess. And so I didn't like give it the real proper sit down listen, which to me today is like unimaginable. The idea, even if I didn't love it, the idea that an ICP CD would come out and I wouldn't listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over again is crazy to me. But yeah, the Tempest I kind of slept on after I gave it like one listen through and then just kind of slept on it. And then same with Bang Pow Boom. And then after that, I was back on board. But I never disliked ICP by any means. Don't take that away from what I'm saying. But yeah, those are albums I certainly appreciate more now than I did when they first came out. Joker's Gallery says Shags wasn't around for a lot of Hell's Pit, and that hurts the album too. I'll agree with that. Ooh, Spooky says fuck the fuck off, motherfuckers. Oh, overrated. Oh, you turd. I thought that said underrated at first. I was about to agree with overrated. I love fuck the fuck off, motherfucker. That's not too many tweaks away from being a Joker's card, I think. And yes, it doesn't sound like a Joker's card. That's the genius of it. See, I say you get a Shaggy centric Joker's card in the mix, you're already doing something different. And I mean, songs like The Knife and Tonight I'm Yours and fucking Tell These Bitches, some of that shit, you add a Violent J verse on there, keep the hook, just add a J verse, and you fucking got killer ICP song. So yeah, I say that is as one of the best of all the solo albums. If we're talking, man, we're fucking getting into this shit now. It only took 2 hours. If you're talking Fuck Off, Wizard of the Hood, let me know if I forget something. Chainsmoker, Fatso, The Shining, Fuck the Fuck Off, Fuck the Fuck Off, Motherfucker. And of course, you can, as what I'm grouping together here are the solo albums by the groups. I would rank them. I don't know if I've ever done this. So this might be a real test for me. Number 1 would be Fuck Off, because as we've established, 90s ICP rules all. Fuck Off's number 1, no question about that. Number 2, oh, see, y'all might get mad at me if I don't put Wizard of the Hood up high enough. But I kind of feel like Fatso beats Wizard of the Hood. And I'm not reading your comments yet. I'll get there. This is all me talking. I kind of feel like Fatso beats Wizard of the Hood. And then are you really gonna kill me if I say fuck the fuck off beats Wizard of the Hood? I'll put Wizard of the Hood third. Man, nah. Fuck. This is a tough one. I'll put Wizard of the Hood second, for God's sakes. Fuck off, Wizard of the Hood, Fatso. Fuck the fuck off. Fuck the fuck off, motherfucker. The Shining, Chainsmoker. That's what I'm going with. How does that sound to you guys? Tell me how bad I fucked up. Spooky says The Shining is garbage. Garbage is harsh, but got some shit on there I like and some shit I don't like. I think Jealousy is a really good song. It's probably my favorite on the whole album. Fight Club is good. I Get Mad is okay. Yeah, it's got some shit on there I don't like also, but Garbage. I don't know about garbage. Danny Boy says never listen to Shining all the way through. Well, no reason to start now. Spooky says The Calm was the first album I didn't care to hear and skipped out on buying release day. Spooky says Purple Gang shits on The Shining. Fuck that. Purple Gang is garbage. Nah. Loving the opinions though. Keep them coming. Purple Gang doesn't shit on anything. Purple Gang gets shit on by literally everything. I might venture to say Purple Gang is the worst thing that Psychopathic has ever put out. Sorry and shit. I love Legs Diamond and all, but nah, that's enough for me, dog. Every song on that CD sucks. Every song on there sucks. Joker's Gallery says I overlooked Tempest until I saw a Family Underground where they used a bunch of songs from it as big tracks. You know, that's a similar point is that I thought Juggalo Island was a shitty song like Miracles until the video came out, and then when I saw the video, no, I take this back. I thought video did help, but I thought that it sucked until I went to my first gathering in 2011, and then I was like, now this song fucking rules. Now I listen to Juggalo Island on my way to the gathering every time I go there. Bonesaw says, do you prefer Forgotten Freshness over or Cryptic Collection as a whole? Forgotten Freshness. Good question, though. They both start out really awesome and then kind of become more hit and miss as they go, but I'll go Forgotten Freshness over Cryptic Collection. I mean, Forgotten Freshness, the first two, this is something that I think about sometimes, but I don't like to say it because I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. The stuff that ICP used to cut is better than the stuff that makes it on the albums today. And that's not to disparage the stuff that comes out on the albums today. I'm just saying that Forgotten Freshness 1 and 2 are fucking as good as the Joker's cards. They're as good. And I don't like I never remember which ones are which, 1 or 2. I kind of just consider them both as one thing, but 1 and 2 is as good as Ringmaster, maybe, almost. I don't know. Maybe that's too far, but they're great. And so it's like, you know, just kind of funny now how like after Forgotten Freshness 1 and 2, 3 has some really great tracks. Posse on Werner. I like Take Me Home a lot. Forgotten Freshness 3 was, and it definitely came out during a formative time in my life. So Forgotten Freshness 3 I like a lot. 4 dips down. They get worse and worse, I would say. 1 and 2 are great, and then from 3 up to 6, they get worse and worse. I think that's a fair comment. 6 is like almost totally just like not even really real songs. There's just like scratch tracks, alternate takes. So 6 is kind of more for like the completionist. It's not really good for listening to as an album, but if you like weird scratch tracks and shit, it's interesting. Joker's Gallery says Lost and Found were the albums I didn't care to listen to immediately. Jay was so big, I knew it wouldn't be good. I'm not sure that there's a correlation there. He says the quality of ICP's music goes way down when Jay's weight is up. This is a wild theory, but I'm happy to think about it. I don't know. He was probably at his he was no disrespect. I don't give a shit what weight he is, but he was pretty big during like Dark Lotus and Death Pop. And I think Death Pop's is a great album, but I would say Death Pop's probably his peak weight. He was not like Found is when he lost all that weight again. Found is when he came back all like skinny again, like from the Wraith era. So yeah, your theory is I don't know. Needs some work. I like where your head is at, but I'm not sure I get on board. Bonesaw says Fatso Earth 2 is better than Fatso. Hard disagree. Loving the opinions, but hard disagree. Danny Boy just cosigns Joker's Gallery's theory. Joker's Gallery says fuck the fuck off, motherfucker was a 10. It's really good. I'd call it maybe an 8. I don't like Electric Kool-Aid. I don't like the hooks on Celebrate. I don't like that hook, although that is a good song because I like everything else about it. I don't like the hook. It's another hook I don't like, and I don't remember which one it is. It has like a woman singing on it, I think. But it's still good though. Spooky says Fatso was good, but I had some amazing Wizard of the Hood times yet to hear Fatso 2.0 all the way though. I wouldn't call it 2.0. That's all Bonesaw. Spooky says Chain Smoker is horrible. I did put it last in my list. Joker's Gallery says, yep, Jay starts trying to be funny, creepy instead of wicked when he's bigger. I don't know about this theory. I don't know. I need like a chart. I need like a graphic chart. Wickedness to weight ratio. What about Fred? Oh, no, wait. No, sorry. That's going the other direction. But yeah, I don't know about this. Spooky says I would out The Shining over mono solo. Put the Shining, you meant? Yeah, for sure. Did someone say otherwise? The Shining is good. Chainsmoker is. I don't think Chainsmoker has any songs. No, well, that's not true. Isn't it? Is it evil? The one that's like evil is as evil does, and there's a little bit in every man, some shit like that. I think that's from Chainsmoker. It's hard to remember because I'm pretty sure Madrox is in it as well. So could be Fatso, but I'm pretty sure that's Chainsmoker. Yeah, evil. That's a good one. That's probably the only one on Chainsmoker I'd put in my rotation. This is all. I'm telling you, it's hard for me to call any Psychopathic album garbage because all of them have at least one song that I like. And if an album has one song I like, I can't call it garbage. You throw garbage in the trash. No, there you go. Danny Boy says also has something to do with the meds he's on that relates to weight gain a lot of the time. Could be. I don't know. At least I see the logic though. Yeah, Joker's Gallery says he feels different. He talked about it on Hot 97. Well, I'll take your word on that because I don't think I could stand to watch that fucking Hot 97 interview again. That shit was fucking hard to watch because Ebro is a fucking dickhead. Danny Boy says Chainsmoker over Fatso. Hard disagree. Hard disagree. Spooky says FF1 and 2 dominate. Joker's Gallery says FF1 and 2 better than the Wraith albums. Agreed on that. I agree with that one. Yeah. Okay. We're still talking about Violent J's weight here. Joker's Gallery says Cartoon Nightmares on Forgotten Freshness 3 is one of my all-timers. That's like a weird song. It sounds cool, but it's just like I don't get it. Like there's no I don't get it. It just seems like random. Like all the lyrics just seem like random rhymes that have nothing to do with each other. But I do like that song. It is good. Spooky. Talking about Jay the Gathering. Okay. Enough talks about fucking Violent J's Wade. I don't care. Well, that's fun. We got in a fucking another 45 minutes worth out of the shit. What else? What else is there to talk about? That was some good topics. Yeah. Yeah. New light in ABK in December? That's news to me. Where does that information come from, Bonesaw? I believe you, but it's news to me. I've been out of the loop. Oh, no, the light one I remembered. I do remember Light making that announcement some time ago, but ABK? I didn't know he had some new shit in December. What's his new shit? That Have Nots album was fucking awesome. I would love to see a Have Nots LP. Where's the fuck new Boot or Hoodoo LP? Where's that shit? ABK said, Bonesaw says ABK said Shapeshifter is coming out in December on stage during his gathering set. He did? All right. I was there. I don't remember that, but I'll take you at your word. Seemed like you know what you're talking about. If Spooky said it, I'd maybe question it, but I trust you. Oh, see, right on cue. Here comes Spooky. Young Wicked's gonna go by James and do country techno music. Sure thing, bro. Let's see. Looking at Twitter, XXL magazine says double XL, I guess, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They say one rapper, one producer. What's your dream collab project? I mean, I feel like my dream collabs there have already been done. One rapper, I mean, let's keep it interesting and say things that haven't been done. Because if we're talking Violent J and Mikey Clark or whatever, it's like, okay, we've done that. Fucking Eminem and Dr. Dre, we've done that. Maybe like Eminem and Mike Clark. That would be fucking awesome. That would be the shit. I wonder if they would be down for that. I don't know that I've ever heard either of them speak on each other. I don't see why not. Eminem and Kid Rock are cool. Kid Rock and Mike Clark are cool. The only weirdness I could possibly see it causing would be between ICP and Mike Clark, although no, probably, not these, certainly not these days. Which it's so far in the past, but I'd be into that. Bonesaw says Esham producing a Bones Dub album featuring Ouija. Esham will never fuck with any of those MNE dudes, I don't think. Seems like he's not a big fan. Excuse me. Spooky says, I want to hear ICP, Vanilla Ice, and Kid Rock. I mean, I don't know if you're joking or not, but I would like to see that. For one, Kid Rock is a fucking dumbass. Used to be cool. There was a time where I wanted to see ICP and Kid Rock do another song just for the novelty of it. But fuck Kid Rock now. Vanilla Ice is still cool. I don't know why you picked the three of those, but more power to you. You get creativity points. Who else? Let me squeeze more blood from this stone. One rapper, one producer. What's your dream collab project? Oh, I'm gonna give my number one answer to Eminem and Mike Clark, but just for the sake of conversation, how's about who's a producer I really like? Who's a rapper I really like? Tech 9 and 7. JK. Ice Cube, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Ice Cube's son, replied and said, Ice Cube and Kanye West. That'd be cool. I'd be into that. Kanye's a really good producer. He's a bit of a madman, but who isn't? Bonesaw says Devereaux and Ritz. That would be the shit. I'm sure Devereaux would be on board. I want to see Mike Clark back at the Gathering. I want to see Mike Clark on the main stage just doing whatever the fuck he wants. Whether that's turntabling or just playing mixes off an iPod while pretending to turn knobs. Not saying he does that, but you know that whole DJ trope. Whatever he wants to do would be cool with me. We need to fucking. I think Mikey Clark's been like embracing. He's never distanced himself from it, except possibly during the Wraith eras and shit. But even then, he never talked shit or anything, and he's never distanced himself from Juggalo shit. But I feel like lately he's been like back to embracing it a little more. Like he did that Piggy Pie remix, which was weird, but I thought it was cool that he did it. And he tweets out Juggalo shit sometimes. So I would definitely like to see him back producing again. And if not for the 5th Joker's card, and even if for the 5th Joker's card, definitely the 6th Joker's card of this set. That's got to be a Mike Clark joint. He never got a chance. The Wraith albums would have been so much better with Mike Clark. It's just the way that it is. He's the best producer of all time, I would say. And to that end, the best producer ICP has ever had. There you go. Joker's Gallery says Tech and Dre. That actually exists, though. That actually exists. It's on some mixtape. I can't remember. It's like I want to say The Source, but that's not it. Let me Google this. Tech 9, Dr. Dre. Double XL. Yeah, it's on a Double XL mixtape. It's a track called Hard Liquor. Tech 9, Hard Liquor, produced by Dr. Dre and Travis Barker. It wasn't like a proper collaboration. It was more of a thing where like Double XL gave him that beat to rap on, and he did his thing over it. So there's that. But yeah, it would be nice to see a proper collaboration. KMK and DJ Muggs, says Joker's Gallery. That would be a great fit. I like where your head is that on that. I don't know. I keep wanting to say like the RZA, but I can't think of who I would like to see him matched up with. I think ICP's current stable of producers, though, is like the best it's ever been. I mean, you can do it without Mike Clark now. It's not going to be the same, but you can do it, as Fearless Fred Fury proved, between Kuma, Mike P, fucking Dr. Punch, aka Violent J, who's getting better at producing. I believe he did Seriously Hilarious, which is a good one. Straight Jacket. 7, of course. Although 7 is great. We all know it, of course. 7 is like the new Dr. Dre. 7 is great, but it's almost hitting the point to me where like using 7 is almost like a cheat, because it's gonna be you're already halfway to a decent song at least when you get 7 on there. So it's almost like, all right, let's make room for some other guys. I mean, that's not taking anything away from 7 at all. He's one of the best there ever was. Spooky says RZA and Dizzy Wright. I can see that. Call it Rizzy Wright. Dizzy Wright's actually about to go out on tour with Ritz, and that'll be fucking awesome because they're coming to Tulsa. So that'll be fucking awesome. And it's a day that I don't have to work. So that'll be fucking awesome. I'm going to catch that shit for sure. I might even do VIP. I've never met Ritz or Dizzy Wright, and I'm a big fan of both of them. Ritz, I talk about this all the time. I always got to pull the clout points when it comes to Ritz because I've been a Ritz fan since before he signed to Strange Music, back when that White Jesus mixtape was the newest shit he had. And that White Jesus Revival mixtape, I maintain is the best album Ritz has ever done. And Ritz has done a lot of really great stuff since then. But those White Jesus Revival mixtape is maybe a 10 out of 10. I'd have to really review the track list again to make that call, but I really love it a lot. I'm a big, big Ritz fan. He's only moving up in his career. Strange Music was a great boost. I believe that he will only go up from here. That was my belief. He killed it on the Fury tour and at the Gathering. Never got to meet him though. Spooky? He says you need to add light to the have-nots? Why? What's wrong with the have-nots the way it is? Why do we need to add anything? I like light and all, but it's good the way it is. Hoodoo and ABK. Yeah, Joker's Gallery says, did they work together on that song in the studio or just pieces together? Just pieces together. That's what I was saying about like double. It's not a proper collab because Double XL just handed him the beat to rap on. But I mean, so to that end, yeah, you're right. It would be great to see like a real proper collaboration. That would be good. You know that what's that Tech Nine song, Yada Yada Yada, where the whole like final verse is where he's like, Dr. Dre, here I come. Swiss Beats, here I come. Fucking whoever. Kanye, here I come. Whatever he says. I would love to like go down those lyrics and like actually cross off the ones that he actually did. It's like, oh, really? Here you come? Because by my count, you are yeah, not a not a great batting average on that. RZA with AXE, that would be the shit. That would be the shit. I would be into it. And you know, RZA has some horrorcore threads in his DNA with the whatever the fuck, you know what I'm talking about. I'm such an idiot. The fucking whatever. God damn, I know the name of this. Jesus, I'm embarrassing myself. Gravediggers, Doy. Yeah. So anyway, Bonesaw says Looney Goons is gonna happen, bro. No, it isn't, bro. Never gonna happen. So far, I have an unblemished record on that, as far as I remember. After that seminar, 2018, where they listed off like 9 projects, and I said on my podcast afterwards, not one of them are going to happen. I'm pretty sure that to this day I've remained correct on that. There was Shaggy Two Dope's book, nothing. Violent J's book about fucking John Utzler, nothing. Fucking the high end violent wear, like high fashion, nothing. Uh, I want to say New Killjoy Club, although that might have been the year before. Nothing. Looney Goons, nothing. Kick Jazz documentary, nothing. That was that had already been announced, but still nothing. Bonesaw trolling over here talking about the 2019 ICP seminar. That shit was not what I wanted. I can't say it was lame because it was cool to see dog beats, I guess. Would have rather seen a seminar, but whatever. Yeah, that's true. Release date for Fearless Fred Fury. That didn't happen. There's even more than that. I can't even remember it all. I want to say Psychopathic Somatic Space 4, nothing. I believe that was part of it. And if you look through the Fred Fearless Fury, you heard me, Fred Fearless Fury booklet, you'll see release dates on release dates on release dates of shit that never came out. It's so fucking annoying. It's like there's a lot of like vinyls that never came out, action figures that never came out, best ofs that never came out, other than the supervillains hit list, which came out months later. Oh yeah, Shaggy selling art. I barely remember that. That was that part of it? I barely remember that. I do vaguely recall someone saying something about that. Spooky says Little Riders. That was never official. That was just Ouija running his mouth on some shit he had no business talking about. That's no disrespect on Ouija, but that made a bad impression on me because that was like right after he got signed that he was tweeting out like, "Who wants a Lil Riders from me and Light?" And I was looking at that like, I don't give a fuck about you because not in a rude way. It was just like, stay in your lane for now. You know, why don't you prove yourself and then get back to me with before you start talking about spinoffs of some classic shit. And again, this was years ago. Today, if he were to come out and say, "Who wants Little Riders with me and Light?" I'd say, "Right the fuck on, bro. Let's do it." I would be way on board now. But at that time, it was like, I don't give a fuck about you or Light. So why don't you calm yourself? But Ouija's the shit. I love Ouija. I think he's a very smart fella. That was a misguided pitch on his part, if you ask me. Bonesaw says, "You know who releases everything they announced since they were formed?" And then he says, "I'm not going to say it. LOL. I mean, you're right, though. That's one of the fucking things that MNE does well, as far as I know. I mean, as far as I know, all their shit comes out on time." Mm. That's true. Joker's Gallery says Flip the Rat came out. That was announced at the seminar, so I'll grant you that one. Although at the time, as I recall, he said that it was going to be available only on physical, which we now know is not true, but be that as it may, it did in fact come out. Hey, Scruffy's in the chat now. I've been going for 3 hours by myself. This will be way better next time. Whenever I said I was going to stream, I thought I would be able to send out the Google Hangouts link, which I found out seconds before going online does not exist anymore. So that sucked. This was supposed to be a party. Instead, it's just me. But happy to read the chats. Scruffy says, "Oh, Scruffy says they even said at last year's seminar that there were things they were going to say for the 2019 seminar and didn't." I'm going to not doubt you on that because I can't say for sure off the top of my head. But what I can say for sure off the top of my head is that what I do remember them saying is, "We're going to give you the good seminar this year. That way, everyone that skipped the 19th to come to the 20th is going to miss out." I remember that. So to that end, it's like, well, maybe that was actually just an instance of them sticking to their word. But yeah, Scruffy says even the 2019 seminar hasn't come out yet. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. It's all good. The best seminar of that entire gathering this year was the Esham seminar. I don't even know if the ABK seminar happened. I haven't heard from anybody who saw it. Maybe I need to check YouTube again, but I checked after the gathering and came up with nothing. So I don't even know if there was an ABK seminar. It was on the schedule, whereas Hoodoo and Light didn't even have anything scheduled. Scruffy says, 3 hours. I missed a lot. Well, that's okay because the first hour and a half was bullshit and had nothing to do with Juggalo shit. Spooky says speculation has it the Big Ballers is going to be the 2019 ICP seminar. This guy. Well, maybe I should wrap up though. We're coming up on 3 hours. I don't know. I just don't know, boys. I just don't know. Yeah, I guess I'll wrap this up then. Don't blame me, Scruffy. I fucking texted everyone and said I was going live. Womp womp. Yeah, Ouija faking his arrest. That was fucking stupid. No, I didn't talk superheroes, but I should have. Okay, well, I'm gonna sign off this, but I think I'm gonna hop over to Twitch or something else because I gotta stay busy or I'm gonna go insane. If you guys heard the top of the hour, the first hour of this show, then you know the deal. So, on that note, I wonder how many views this video will get when people see it was 3 hours long. I'm gonna stream again next week, and when I do, I'm gonna fucking figure the Streamlabs shit out, and it'll be better. And we'll keep a Juggalo. And I just had a lot of shit to get out today, so it had to be done. So long. Peace.